You're holding me and holding back. I don't really care for that. Just you. There's a pause between every minute. Feeling like I need something. It's just you.
not a game. I'm not a robot, and I challenging you. I'm not a phantom. I'm in your face, and I'm here to see it through. Right before your eyes, what just multiply? Got the flame right. It's time. As the power grows, try to stop us shows. Like the wheel will drive. Stop so you know that we out there, swatting lines in the making. Yeah, move fast, we not breaking. Can't hold on our life for change. And our voices ring out, yeah. Took a mask off to be free. Falling out in the debris. Now we know that love will change. And in a shame, I'm not a big man of your Illinois mind. I'm just as real as, I'm just as dangerous as you, so know you're fine. Think of your mess, fight in every breath, fight inside your head, your heart.
Dee 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 dee. Oh no! Katie lost yesterday. Oh no! How did that happen? How did that happen? My PC froze. Huh? Hello? What the fuck is happening? Huh? Is my camera working? Okay, we're working. Oh, it's the light. Okay, there we go. Oh no! Katie lost yesterday. Oh no! Oh no, what are we gonna do, chat? What are we gonna do? Oh, they were so close. They were so close. All I did when they were 7 kills to 0 is I came into the chat and said, no way, Katie's gonna win. And then they lost. Oh no. So you want the good news or the bad news, chat? The good news is we can watch Nongshim vs T1. The bad news is I have to go at 12-ish to the venue. And I have to do the stream setup there. And I have to do the fire exit drills. And I have to do rehearsals. So I'm going to miss the DK series, which is fucked. The good news is we can do the T1 Nongshim series. The bad news is we can't do the DK series. But the other good news is DK will 2-0 them. 100%. There's no way to lose the DNF. And secondly, tomorrow we're playing against Rudy at 11 AM CEST start time. Rudy. I need to go to the venue today and I need to set up all the cameras. Hopefully I can get loads of cameras set up. Otherwise, it's going to be fucking one camera Andy. But I'm hoping to get loads of cameras set up. So it bangs. And then the way it'll rock... The sad thing about all of it is... The IG series is on at the same time as our game against Rudy. So tomorrow we're going to be doing... the LR versus Rudy. In stadium, in venue. While also keeping up to date with IG. And then when both those series ends, I'll turn the stream off and turn it back on 10 minutes later from a different setup. And we'll do LEC co-stream. you imagine how disgusting would it be if I go on the stage, do the draft, come off the stage, and then I just open up the IG game while in the venue in the audience, just watch the IG game. That would be the most degenerate thing in existence. You got tickets for Sunday? Please be there. Hey, I can't promise anything. I can't promise anything. I can't promise anything, chat. I hope we win tomorrow. I hope. Man United lost to SEA Gang. Did they? Did they lose to SEA Gang or what? Is SEA Gang good at football? Have you decided for a walkout song? Yeah, I have, but I won't tell you what it is. You're just gonna have to watch and listen. Hopefully it works. You know what walkout song we were gonna have, chat? I'm not even kidding. This was gonna be our walkout song.
Yeah, you dealing with some wet and gushy. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet and gushy.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. That is funny. That is funny. Wait, where's the playlist? Oh, here it is. What should we put on the playlist? No, we got a good walkout song. We got a good walkout song. How did you guys do in scrims yesterday? We did great. Yo, good morning. Where's my dark reader? Dark reader on. Boom. Yesterday was great. Yesterday was fantastic. Is it bugged or is DRX down 130 points? What are you on about? Old setup's better. We'll be back at the old setup on Monday. On Monday. On Monday. Yo, McMullen, thank you for the resub. Thank you for the 12 months. Thank you for the 1 year. Bringing a baby puppy home in a week, chat says to call her Sally. What? What do you mean? You're gonna get a dog and call it Sally? What? The fuck? We did a content piece after game 1, yeah? Done? Yeah? Okay, cool. Oh. Everything's already ready? Okay, sweet. Yo, chat, stop DMing me. Stop DMing me. Wait, what did you say actually? I closed it. I still did not receive the pack. You should check your emails. They are very responsive. You need to check where your fucking deliveries are at. Yo, I can't get over this elevator music. Is this? No, no, that's not gonna be the walkout song. No. No. Chat, on a scale of 1 to 10, how hard did the KT Gen G series bang yesterday? I gotta watch the highlights.
And we don't normally say this about Gen Con, but it still can work. But now your late game scaling Xayah that's going to get ornaments isn't necessarily going to.
We'll just give it up.
It's a lane swap bonus, you know? Duckdom's going top side, he gets a huge kill.
Keem does not have flash, and he's very far up the lane.
Rumble sends out Ari Jinrel.
Again, so that is going to be now 2 kills to Duckdom.
Did Chovy get the pog
he does have
of the series?
He's got Swifties.
Yeah. And now they are looking for Cuz,
Ruler
who's
got
not in a good spot.
I kind of just want to watch game 3. I'm guessing this game was a
Chovy
stomp.
looks for it.
I'm
Wow,
personally
mega
ready
stomp.
to move.
Cannon's on a ward, and the
Game
sneaky
2
trundle
was-
in the brush is going to help with
I
this
saw
one.
game 2. I watched game 2. I was watching it live. There was a Hextech Soul and Canyon stole it here, which was crazy.
Have to deny the soul,
And they got
right?
it later anyway.
Ruler gonna rotate over.
I want to watch
He's
game
not
3.
working for Canyon in this game. 0, 5, and 10. He's
How did
It's just-
KT lose game 3? Because I tuned into the LCK stream and I
Coaster.
saw that they were
What's
7-0 in
going on
kills
here?
and I said
JG?
GG KT win.
Little engage with the Silas level 1. And now the handshake. Flash comes in. Keen's just dead. His first blood over to Cuz right at 1 minute into the game.
I mean, we had the exchange happen just moments before where Duro a little bit more, surely.
He's going to see it, and now, I mean, he can just tunnel through and look for it. Yeah, he just
You're
flashes
such a rat,
over
Kenyon.
and smites it away. They don't respect it as well. He's not going to be
You're
able to
such
get
a
out
rat.
of the pit, at least. You see that the team's trying to come over and watch this happen. Flash over the wall, though, and now Cuz just gets bailed out. Looks cool. I admire the heroism, saying, get down, Mr. President, but now Duro's dead, too. And
All right.
KT get 2 kills.
2 kills for KT.
Wow.
That feels
The
pretty
Renata
good.
bailout value there
No,
was
Canyon,
I want to
ridiculous.
see this setup.
Holding that Impale he did not use, but
Wait,
keeps
Chovy has the
holding it,
double
maybe
mask
saving
build.
it for the next fight as
Cloud
they don't
Soul.
engage. Cloud Soul, kind of especially because what we talked about earlier with the movement speed. It's just in general so good. Hold on, Cuz
Cuz
maybe
is
got a 50-50,
here.
maybe.
But he's alone. I don't know if he really wants to take that risk, so he's just going to let it go. So first Cloud Drake does go over to Jin.
Or, like, he won't be safe on a turret when it's dead.
Good driving.
Yeah, Elden
doesn't-
Ring
from
came out.
Cuz. Doesn't run into
Not
the
gonna play it now,
Otacon
but I'm
wall.
gonna play it one day.
Could have gotten
One
a little
day
bit,
soon.
Awkward. Look, just a little bit. Will he be punished
Okay,
for
there's
it?
more KT here than there is Gen G now.
Yeah, they want to go for this. Chovy maybe in a little bit of trouble. We'll see the CC chain as Chovy very tanky in this moment. Still has his flash. He's holding on to it, but now Canyon in a lot of trouble. Gets a big impale,
Oh,
but
big,
now the Renata
big
holds on
Renata ult.
top, and it's 2 kills for Duckdom, just like that. We have the culling coming down, but perfect also here.
5-0 in
He is
kills.
Yorick. They want to go for this Otacon with the man advantage.
Yeah, it's going to be the end of the Maiden here. And Ruler is on 2 items right now. Still a relatively safe take, though. You have to imagine with no jungler, they just have to be careful
Yeah.
and slow play this. Keen looking for the ult here, but this is...
Look at Cuz's positioning. He's just waiting until the very end to stealth on in and get the kill, and he does
Nah,
get it
there's
with the
no way
smoke.
they lose this
Cuz
game.
going
That
in,
is
looking
criminal.
for that bailout, but just going to peel off as Genji back away.
Very, very calm and collected take here from KT Rolster. For a moment there, it looked like maybe going to be an angle for Keen with his empowered stun.
There's
They're gonna
no
be able to
way.
trade this for a turret at least. Chovy actually going to try to make it 2 turrets, but there's going to be an answering teleport here.
I guess
from
Victor
BDD, and
Lucian
I
is
don't
kind of
think Chovy
cringe.
will
Well,
be
not
able to get the
cringe, but
second
like
one.
difficult to
But
play against.
A very clean dive there.
Also, Otacon is completely
Looks
fake.
like KT, they do want to try to collapse. But
Perfect
already
here.
a ton of damage is being done. Chovy,
Chovy.
a big caught. He still has his flash, but
Chovy
doesn't
gets
matter.
caught.
He is going to go down.
Oh, they don't get
And
the
that's
Drake.
catch on a
It's
Chovy, but the Dragon
Canyon
does
being
go
a
over to
rat.
Genji. It's going to be 2 kills
That's
here.
what it is.
As
Canyon
KT
the
take
rat
it down.
taking all the
Unfortunately
dragons.
For them, there's no Baron, which would have been a huge turn for them, but they're still going to get a bunch of gold.
And it does make this a little bit tougher to play out for Chovy as we're seeing
They're
a
going for
collapse.
Chovy. Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble here. He does not have his flash, but the chains are going to miss, so maybe not so much trouble as Perfect. Actually, the
Perfect.
guy that's in trouble is Ruler is
Perfect.
ganking the Yorick. Just like that. Maybe try for the Baron, but would be risky.
And they-
Speaking of which,
They could just go back
Don't
towards
tell
the
me they just
dragon
lose the
here.
soul.
Chovy's going to TP to mid. And already Duckdom's on the dragon. BDD's just going to hold the line here with this stolen Alistar ultimate.
yeah, I don't really know.
I got
if
coffee on the way,
Genji
chat.
can
I'm
do
gonna big
about
pace it.
this. They're going to try to go for the mid lane turret.
Okay, don't get soul.
But BDD's here. He's
7-1.
level 16. He's unkillable with that Alistar ultimate. It's better Alistar, basically. KT's still trying to set something up as they move over and clear out the wave.
Luckily for Genji, the fact that they're the ones on soul point affords them the
Odds
ability
steal
to
stack.
give up a few of these dragons like this before KT ended up. Then he didn't have his hijack up to steal the
Game
Damas,
still
but
looks good
used
for
the
KT.
Alistar ultimate to deal with that gank. 'Cause Peter's looking for the flash play.
Game is not that good anymore.
Not the best engaged Renata, but it's still going to catch
Game
Ruler
is
as going underneath the turret
fine.
does Cuz as he has to do that.
No
After
Sums Ruler.
Everything missed from Peter, but it was still a good idea. Not quite the ruler spot.
Mid, King does have TP. They're
Oh
gonna have to
no,
be
they
super
threw
fast
it
with
Baron,
this.
didn't they?
Or
Don't
look
tell
for
me
the
they
turn.
threw it Baron. No,
not all
KT,
here
no.
As well, stolen Impale. It's going to catch Toby, but the follow-up is denied by Duro. And the counter Impale comes in. No damage, though, cuz still going to be going down. He has to get bailed out as he does not actually
Dokdam
get
is
bailed out.
reported.
Double knock up here.
Toby.
Once
Oh
again,
my
Toby,
god,
very
Dokdam
low.
is
BDD
reported.
wants the kill. Not the disengage cone. Wow, it's actually going to get him out here just barely. Meanwhile, we got a play up on the top side.
Oh
Perfect
my
will go
god.
down as KT may be going a little bit deep for this one, and the Baron try gets denied.
BDD flashing but not securing the kill. Doesn't have his flash now. Looks for the re-engage.
Has to go in. He's got Dominus actually up against 3 people. The game just walks away, and Gen G they find
They
the fight
threw it
they were
Baron.
looking for.
And that is what I was saying. All it takes is one Baron, one Cloud Soul, one fight is going to secure that Baron for
After
Genji.
that
And that
last fight,
That's
even
it.
though BDD has the Rod of Ages, most damage dealt by the Victor.
They just spit up too
Not a
hard.
surprise, you know, has Leandri's is Victor.
And now they're gonna lose Soul.
We're just gonna engage here. Straight onto the Renata, going pretty deep for this one, as that is
Not a good fight by Canyon
Silas
here.
with the Alistair ult. Toby taking a bunch of damage.
Where's the
Ruler
damage?
zoned away. Not sure about this fight.
Wait,
for Gen
KT's
G,
back. KT's back.
As that's gonna be 2 kills now. Canyon goes
Can they
down
win on a
right before
replay?
The Dragon. KT are still in this game.
Oh, KT in control of this objective right now. And
Nah,
it looks
they
like
won't
they're
steal
just
it
gonna
with
look for
Ruler,
the
right?
Smite on it. There's no contest. There's no enemy jungler. And KT will just take this one away. Gen G shuts everything down in a choke point like that as well.
We're engaging here for KT.
Okay, and Chovy in
Oh, why did he take that?
Now stealing the Impale
Oh my
Samurai
god, that Renata ult
ult's
is terrible.
very Confusing, but
Chovy, no
is
flash,
still
though.
Dead.
It cuts
Just
him in
takes
half.
Chovy dead.
Yeah, Chovy's dead. Keen's looking for destruction of this turret, but a TP will come through from
Does Keen just kill him?
Perfect. And, I mean, maybe Keen could look for the all-in here. It's not going to happen. He gets the turret, picks up the gold. Unfortunately for KT, they end up
Oh, they're
losing 2
bleeding
turrets out of
towers
this
every
because,
play,
yes,
aren't
you've
they?
got Chovy, but Genji had control of the mid lane, control of the bottom lane, so it looked like a cool play. They cut them in half. They get the kill on Chovy, but
Oh
can
my
they
god,
get
he tried
more?
to do the
What are we
Silas
doing here?
buffer.
We got it back.
Was probably running out.
Genji are pushing.
Yeah, this is a little bit slow here. KT got the inner turret in the top lane, but Genji are getting inhibitor turrets, which is way more valuable. And by the time they back, Genji have all...
Somehow, not for very long, I think. I think this time, finally, KT figured it out. They push forward, take a big turret here. Started it, and KT, they know they got to push into this, but they just don't know what's on the other side. Bit of damage comes in, but it's only half health for now. BDD on the flank.
Perfect TP to the fight.
Level
BDD on the flank
17.
looks for Chovy.
Yeah, bit of damage goes
Oh,
in. And it's just a
cuz,
flip.
too
It
early.
goes over to Canyon, but now we got the counter impale coming in. Big knockup from Duro, but where is the damage?
Holy fuck, Ruler is dishing damage.
The first one to go down. Ruler's okay, but Canyon get low himself.
Keen is massive as well.
Will be taken out by Ruler.
No.
Ruler looking for the double, and will chase them down. KT, they get called on the bluff of the Baron. Genji, they take down the Baron, and they might just take this game. Perfect,
No.
and Peter's still
And
on
that's
the
how they
run.
lose, I guess. GG.
Fuller and up Genji.
Well, that sucks. Well, that sucks.
Thing because the first Genji against T1 series was actually really close, right?
Oh
We go back to
no,
the start of
KT
the split.
lost. I'm
Last
so
one really
sad.
wasn't. Neither was the Hanwha one, as
I'm so sad, chat.
literally just
I need to run
gave up
ads
his
now and then after
failed
draft, okay?
break. I'll
I
go
apologize.
anywhere as long as I'm with you. And Lahens is such a classic tsundere because it was also calling
Classic
out Calyx
tsundere.
for Calyx. You shouldn't tell people or say nice things about you. This is ruining my reputation. How dare you?
Lahens had a day off and instead he went to play in academy.
And we can all see it.
We know
he's
you're
not
nice.
He went to
fooling
play in
anyone.
academy with his homie.
Well,
Yo,
and you
Submar
might
dropped
be
150
pretending, you know,
euro
to make
donation. Yo,
fun
Submar, you're
of
fucking
all your
crazy.
teammates. You might be
Final
haunting
day, good luck
Keen
tomorrow,
whenever
rats.
you meet him in solo
If you
queue.
lose, you go
We all
bold.
know you're a
Okay,
nice
Submar,
guy, and we
I
see
am
it right here. Now
insanely
they
grateful
get
for the
loose,
150 euro
but,
donation.
you know,
But
it's
I am
challengers.
not
It's a
going
lot
bold.
harder. We've been over this.
I am
Exactly,
not
this
going
is
bold if
still
we
gonna
lose.
be the
That is
challenger's
not.
power
You
of
can't
the
do it.
fights.
You can't
Welcome
donate
the
that much money and
teams
say that.
to
Nope,
Lopar
doesn't work
on
like that.
this beautiful
Doesn't work like
Friday.
that.
See how these fist
Uh-uh.
bumps
No
are
sirree.
going to go
No sir,
between
buddy.
these two squads.
I
Expecting
appreciate
a
that
lot of
dono though.
things
You're fucking crazy.
out of T1 in
Yo.
this one because it was a rough series
Thank you,
against
man.
HLE, to say the least.
You're donating way too much
Not
money.
only for T1, but for my predictions as well. A little bit upset about that one. I think,
I've
I
already
was
made
doing
my bold
okay.
bet.
I
That's
was
already
doing
happened.
okay,
It happened
and
at the
then
start of the
it
year.
all just kind of fell apart. You were a T1 Predator as well, though, I'm pretty sure. You were an HLE Predator? Oh, so doomed. It is so doomed.
I didn't predict DRX though.
Yeah, that's what did. Making some
that was,
space.
I think, just what did. I'm pretty sure he's tied with me again now.
Yeah,
The
now
bold
I'm,
bet
like,
is
on
if
this
T1
little
win Worlds, I
island
go bold.
between the two
Because
camps,
I just don't
you
see it
know.
happening.
Well, that's better than being in the bottom camp, Atlas, so I think you'll take it.
I don't know. They got a lot of friends down there. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. See how it does go as Owner getting his jacket into his special position. And
Into
let's
his
see whether
special
his performance is
position.
going to be better. As you can see here,
God, where is my
it
charging
seems like
cable?
his performance never faltered.
He's had exactly, I want to say, 2 bad series.
Yes.
And
One of them
Owner
was
is
always-
frying.
well, both of them, right? Because one was against Canyon, which I'm going to be real. I think that
Owner
part of
is
it
frying.
is that Owner looks worse in those losses. But
Fuck,
for
I turned
me,
it off.
Owner doing worse is also because he needs to do so much for T1. Because I think the laning phase of particularly mid, Faker has really struggled. I think we saw
Yo,
that in
Submar,
the
thanks
drops
again, man.
reflected as well. For Hanwha, the fact that they're B1ing Victor is, I think, a very clear sign of Faker's laning right now not being quite where it needs to be. And Owner, more so than Canyon, basically doesn't have to interact with his lanes at all, which is a position of luxury.
Eel
but it
also is a
benefits
final duo on the
both,
5
right?
days
'Cause you
run
have
joke
on
side.
one
Good luck, yo.
end, he
Submar, thank
wants
you,
to
man.
farm. His
Alright,
laners
it's
are
turned
really
on now,
good.
my tablet.
And then Peanut is the complete opposite.
Tablet.
where
Sorry,
Peanut
a
is
tablet. It's
obviously
more like a
always
notebook.
going to be looking, and Owner kind of needs to walk that line. Has walked that line.
Oh
I
yeah, I
think,
need to get some things
against
printed off
any
today
team
as
that isn't
well.
Genji and Hanwha, but in games
Fuck, I
where
unplugged
T1
my keyboard.
struggles, I think we really see the difference in how much impact he can make. But Gideon has really fallen off. At the beginning of the split, we were talking about
It's not
Gideon as
charging.
potentially contesting for like a top 3 jungle.
Yeah.
Recently, we haven't quite seen that form. I think Calyx also going through
can't
the classic
charge it.
arc of
Sorry, I'm
coming
like
in,
rambling to
looking
myself.
really
trying
good,
to charge something.
and then kind of falling off. For Calyx, obviously, he's still very early in his career, so we're not too worried. But I do think we kind of are out of the honeymoon. Still a good player that we're going to keep an eye on. But even with Faker not being in top form, I think he should be favored in this matchup.
Yep, I would agree. I do think Nongshim have some tricks left up their sleeves.
They
though,
always
right?
do.
We are heading towards, like, I mean, this is the last week of regular season. This is about the time when Kingen starts to power up. We are also still in Korea, and Lahens is pretty good on his home turf when it matters most. So looking to see whether we can put some of that to the test, as Nongshim
All right,
still going to be
this
guaranteed
series
a
is.
road to MSI spot, right? That's top 6.
I mean, it's
Legend and
basically
Riot Group,
third
very
versus
different story,
fifth.
because we're splitting the teams 5 and
T1's
5,
basically third
so
now.
that top 5
Nongshim's
position
basically
becomes
fifth.
a whole
There's
lot more
Faker's new
important.
noodles
You
that
will
have been
still get
released.
into the first round
If
of
T1
road
win
to
this,
MSI, no matter what, for Nongshim,
if
still
T1 2-0 this
Aw.
and then Hamalive
so
loses,
much
cute.
better. Yeah.
Lahens
Does anything
with, I think
change?
it was the Lulu staff.
or
and
no?
then, Leona and Nautilus.
Okay, so
I'm
they're
glad they
locked
put
third
Lulu
no
in
matter
there
what.
as well. You know?
Okay.
I mean,
That
Lens'
is-
Lulu is
It
legendary.
is, yeah.
This is just a skill.
Okay, so
a
the
skill
Lahens
show
one,
off.
obviously, the Shu is amazing, but I want you to look at that G. 'cause
I was honestly too distracted. I didn't even see the G one. I'm sorry.
that was the best one.
But
It was a tiny man.
But it's important for Nongshim this
It
game.
was so cute.
And if it's important for Nongshim, that means it affects DK. And if it affects DK, that means T1 needs to beat Nongshim for DK's sake. Okay,
Here we
deal?
are. It is time to ban away champions and then pick them immediately afterwards.
Yes.
Callista going to be hitting the deck here as the Vi is going to be taken away from Gideon. And I think this is a really great, like you brought it up before, Gideon having a bit of a fall off. And I think that the meta has been changing, but I think it's changing towards Gideon rather than away from him. His tank play was what really impressed us earlier in the season, and more tanks are starting to crop up in the jungle, especially with a lot of these bans that are coming through. Talia and the Callista both taken away here as the Azir is banned by T1. Calyx has been gravitating towards the Pigeon quite a lot, and with the Talia ban, it is something that they do not want to give away.
What will be the prio pick here? As mentioned, T1 is heavily prioritized the Victor for Faker, so maybe Nongshim want to try and pick
Do
that
drafting?
away, but
Yeah, I
I'm
can
just
do
gonna ban
drafting.
it, as there
Kalista,
we do
Telia,
see
Victor, Azir,
champions
Vi.
taken
So
off
there's
the board.
Gwen, Varus, Jace,
Faker
Rumble.
really struggling against, I think, both Zaka and Chovy when it comes
There's
to his
also
laning
Senna,
impact.
who I
Against
don't know if
Calyx,
it's a first pick.
The best moments we've seen from him were in the team fight,
So
so I
take
do
away
think there's a
Gwen,
lot more
so it's a
leeway.
Jace Rumble
What
trade.
pick
Do you
in
just
lane,
take
it's
the
not-
Varus,
we're
or
not
do you take
talking
the
about
Pantheon?
Calyx as the super dominant laner.
Pantheon, Sin.
It's really more about the mid game.
Even
plays and
trade,
skirmishes.
Nefiri, there's
Xin
3
Zhao
junglers,
is one
there's
that
2
to
tops,
me
there's
makes
2
perfect
ADs,
sense. Yeah,
and
looks
then
like
there's
Rumble,
basically
Xin
Ari.
Zhao,
I wrote the Rumble in
Did I
already.
take the Rumble?
Yeah.
That means T1 could get Varus or Senna.
think it
They
makes
could
sense.
take Ahri.
Was
They could
still
also take
insanely
Pantheons and
strong.
Zauna
I
Fury.
do think that we have some tools that have looked pretty
What do you
decent
do in this
against him, but
scenario? Because they
it
could
really
do Yone
doesn't matter,
Sedge.
even if you do well against
They could
him
do
in
like a
lane,
Yone
because the
game
impact of
here.
the equalizers is always
So you
going
could
to
take
be
Ahri.
quite large
Or they
now.
could do Ahri.
This has become a
Okay,
more
well,
and
Doran
more
just picked Ornn.
popular
Doran just said,
answer into the Rumble.
I'm going
Just
Ornn.
kind of going to
Fair enough.
ignore the early damage, and once you finish
Fair enough.
Koenig, you're really not in any issue or any trouble. As
And
we
it's
are,
Doran.
yeah, we are finally seeing.
Oh.
Because remember,
Sedge Yone?
yeah, for sure, this is like a complete no-brainer, right?
Now
For
it's
no
just
shit.
going to be
This
an
is
Ahri for Faker, I
literally,
guess.
I'd argue
think
one
no
of the
shockers.
strongest top sides that you can get. Double melee with Sejuani.
Oh,
you get the
yeah.
Rumble, you get the Yone combo as well, which is insane. So
What else are you thinking, Faker?
no-brainer for the
Varus
I
pick and drop
really
mid?
wanna own
I
him
think
in this
maybe just
Pantheon
pick the
because
Ahri.
for
Thoughts?
a good amount of time after dispatch drop.
Ooh,
we're
the
since I-
Akali.
Okay.
Faker Akali. Okay, feeling a bit
well, I was
frisky.
about to say we're gonna see how the Pantheon can do.
Feeling a bit frisky.
I love the Akali. I love the confidence. I don't think so far this is that crazy of an Akali angle. I think Ornn does really like to play with carries that can provide a lot of consistent damage, right? Where you really look for the team fights as opposed to
Fair enough.
side lane and impact and backline dive. And I think playing Akali
Rumble's
when
such
there's
a
lot
funny
of CC
champ.
on the enemy team and there's a lot of AoE damage is always a little scary. Now, the 2v2 is
What a good
obviously
champ.
quite strong.
Elise
There's
ban
a
is
lot of
very
mobility and a
specific
lot
to
of,
Lehens.
Power to
Renata
execute
ban.
targets at a moment's notice.
It's making me
But
think that they want some kind of
As a
Kai'Sa
three-man
Nautilus.
unit, Ornn, Pantheon, Akali
Kai'Sa
does
Nautilus,
not
Xayah
sound
Rakan would be
nearly
great
as
for
It
Nongshim.
doesn't
convincing.
feel very cohesive. That is very true.
Well, it's
Could
also,
ban-
again, compared to
You know,
what is on
Guma
the
won't play
opposite end.
Kai'Sa.
Yeah. No, you've got
Guma
like
will
the
play Varus
perfect
or
best
something, right?
friends club staring down a
Or,
bunch of people that have
yeah,
never met
take away
before.
Kai'Sa
Is
Nautilus
basically
makes
how
sense with
I'm
that
seeing
Nautilus
it right
ban.
now. Nautilus is going to be taken away alongside the Elise. Some pretty obvious Lehens bans there.
They
as
ban
the
away
Nico is going to
Nico.
be taken away. Renata and Nico, both of them removed from carrier here. As I think it's such a shame that Ona
Do you
locked
take
in the
Xayah
Pantheon
here?
so
I
early.
feel like
Because Gideon
Guma taking
loves
Xayah
playing
here is the
tanks,
safest,
right? He
but
loves
then you
Poppy,
will
he loves
play against
Sejuani. Trundle would have
Varus.
been so good. And
You take
now,
Varus, you will
there's
play
even a
against
possible support Trundle
Jhin.
angle. Could you imagine that? Subjugating the
If
Ornn
you
as he
take
comes in?
Alistar, you don't have
Oh,
to show AD.
baby.
Kind of love that.
I'd be
Okay.
so keen. I don't know whether it'd happen.
Lehens would.
Sure.
He might. If he doesn't just shen.
And Alistar will
instead.
walk
We'll
into
see.
Rakan
There's
or
plenty
Leona,
of
right?
Weird stuff that he could go towards.
So they will go Xayah
As this
Rakan or they'll go
Xayah
Ezreal
with
Leona. Yeah.
Rakan.
Yeah.
I doubt they'll go Zeri, right?
Or he could play Zeri because it's due, and he loves playing.
Oh my god,
Playing
Zeri Lulu? Into
Zeri Lulu, guys,
Alistar?
no, please.
Well,
There's
that'd be
a
pretty clean.
few considerations here. So the Zeri Lulu, I think lane-wise, is a
Xayah
lot
Rakan.
stronger.
I guess
you
Guma
really
here
get
has
to
to go
bully
Jhin, yeah.
Really, regardless
Or he has
of
to
what
go
Guma ends
Varus.
up blocking in. The benefit of this is that the Xayah will have a lot more agency into the Akali, and you are also able to deal with the Ornn
Interesting.
a little bit better. Which I do
Chat,
think
I'm
is
gonna run
nice.
ads. If you know what
Xayah
ads, you can use
still
T1
a
or Twitch
strong
Prime
combo.
to support the channel. You don't have to sub if you don't want to.
Carrier
Back for the
or,
game starts
sorry,
because
Guma, I want to say it's probably going to be the Jhin with the type of setup that they have here. And looking at these two compositions,
Varus
I think
Prio
that
has
it is
dropped a lot.
Extremely one-sided.
yeah, well, when it comes to power, when it comes to cohesiveness, you go to Nongshim, right? Like the top side is insane. You have great engage. You have good. Good
Varus
kiteback
Prio
potential
has
as well.
dropped a
For
lot.
me, the main issue with T1
The
is
Nidalee
comp
hover
a
is
little bit
because Keria
disjointed. That
Keria
core
wants to
of
play
the
Nidalee support, and I
Pantheon
wouldn't be
Akali, I think
surprised
they
if
go
they
well
play it next
together.
game.
They're
But
decent with the
Nongshim's
Alistar as
comp
well.
looks very scary. I'm not
But
gonna lie.
then
That
the
looks
Ornn
very
makes
scary.
sense in the matchup. I think the Ornn also will always provide a lot of utility. But one of the things I really like about Jhin and Ornn is that you can kind of fish, right? And you can play a little bit slower. You really are going to have to pick your moments with this Akali because you don't
Does
have
game
a
have any
control
stakes?
If you
It has
pull your
stakes for
triggers on that
Nongshim.
engage, but you don't have like, a
Nongshim winning
Chaos
here
Storm
would be
or Nazir just
detrimental to
hammering away
DK's
at
rise
the
to
health
MSI.
bars. I think you can get into some issues later on. Now, a side laner with Pantheon is always going to feel nice, and T1, I do think, are, when it comes to gameplay, looking a lot better right now.
I would agree. And I think that nameplates are going to have to come into this one in a big way because we know Doran, a fantastic tank player in general. His eye for team fights has been fantastic. Owner is on a carry, someone that can affect the game very early on. That is exactly his bread and butter. And you and I casted a pretty good Akali Faker game at the World Championship, and I believe he won that one. In fact, he's won a few of them since losing to Kingen. And I think that, you know, after the double revenge worlds has been owned, I think he's going to be able to do it again here. Let's jump into the Rift, game number 1.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
All right, I think that is enough of my explanation as to why I think T1's going to win, because I actually don't think they will in this game. I think that this draft is too good for Nongshim. Have to bring it down to earth once more, Chronicler. Because I think these players are really good, and this draft edge is absurd.
Oh my god.
Okay, they just walk past one another. That's a bit cute.
Yeah, so Lands,
They
I think
just ran into topside.
Oh no, he's been
And
baited.
Owner just ran into them.
Like,
Like,
double flashes to follow permafrost. There's first blood going over to Gio. And I hadn't factored that in when I said that I thought the draft looked good.
I'm a
Well,
bit confused as
yeah,
to
me
why
too.
this happened.
Nongshim ran into
It's
topside.
called Lehen's Voodoo.
Hence mind control.
Huh?
Absolutely. We have seen this many a time before.
It's like, oh no, I'm caught. No.
Oh, I'm out of position again, guys. And oftentimes, this is why it's so genius. Oftentimes, he is straight up just caught. But then there's those couple of times that can really ruin the game for you.
Well, that's a rough start for T1. Kill going over to the Zaya. Gonna start with a very early dagger.
Owner
Feeling
caught.
very good about that one. If you are Gio, I don't know what the
Yeah, I'm
experience
taking it off,
situation
chat.
is. Doesn't look very good for them right now, but obviously they would have to give up full control of the wave. So we'll
It's not
see
that
how
bad.
that stands when
Right.
the crash actually comes through. It's also not the end of the world. Early kill was nice, but not going to be game deciding. But I'm just wondering what the communication was, because their read must be that no one else was there. Because the level 1 obviously is never going to be favored.
This
for
matchup
that,
is really
right?
good for
because you're
Akali.
playing into Sejuani with a good amount of melees on the top side, and that's just not really something that you can realistically deal with. As we do see now level 2 hit here, as they have not.
Well, the Hens got the
They
last
missed,
hit.
like, based on the experience, like maybe 1 minion.
Yeah, they did. And Lehen's actually, even without, you know, the support item prop, picked up a couple of them. That
So
he knew
Doran
that G wasn't gonna be able
insta-slams
to get.
Ornn
So
into
good guy
Rumble.
Lehen's
Zero
making sure
fucks
that
given.
He gets the money at least, goes to someone.
Yeah, Rumble's a bit weaker
King
now
up here
because of the
getting pushed
Leander
in
exchanges.
by the Ornn, who's, feeling
I don't know if
fantastic. We
LCK teams
expected
give a
this to
fuck
be the
though.
case.
LCK teams normally don't really give a fuck for a
Not
while
only
until they
good
realize
Doran
it's bad
is
and they're
on
like,
champion, but the matchup being pretty good into the on as now Gio going a bit aggressive here. Another grand entrance comes down as Gumayushi
no
in a bit
pullback.
of trouble. 250 health as he walks away. But the Lovers duo certainly working out so far for Nongshim down in this bottom lane.
that level 3 Zaya there, that would have hurt.
So hard to try and lane when the early stats can make such a big difference, right?
Rumble's
Just having
losing.
that extra attack speed
Ornn's
available,
beating his ass up.
being able to put those feathers down just a little bit faster. Definitely powerful as Indigo again.
Yeah, here's another one. Blade Caller is going to root carrier for a few moments, but Gio is lit on fire, doesn't want to go too aggressive. They do get double summoners out of the bottom lane in exchange for 2 on the side of T1 as well.
Early fights really can go either way, particularly pre-6. I do think that Nongshim have the advantage once Faker's ultimate becomes available. Akali gains a ton
Yeah, I
of
wonder if
playmaking
they're going to swap
potential.
right now,
Just look
T1.
like with the topside prio that was there for Doran, as well as the bot side prio that is double scuttle here.
Yes, they
for
are.
Honor on the Pantheon. As we take a look, I think that of these, really the one you're looking at,
10% win rate?
Outside of that,
Or 15 rather?
a lot of those players have obviously been struggling, even outside of their champions.
Yep, and oftentimes it wasn't necessarily the Pantheon's fault, although there have been some grand starfalls that have gone in odd directions. You know, some interesting execution.
Can Nongshim win
of
this?
those
Yeah, they can win the
particular
series. They're not a
Yeah,
bad team.
the timing on those can really throw you off. You can
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm reading this
At some
fight.
point, like it
I know
looks
what's
good
happening
here, and then you give it a few seconds, and then it doesn't.
Yeah, but
happen
you've
anymore.
pressed the button and you
Keria will
basically
defend
within
that
a
ward.
second are like, oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things where even looking a few seconds into the future is hard.
Yeah.
It's like, you're talking about like what, like 4 seconds?
And also, you have to make the play extraordinarily quickly to capitalize as effectively as
Oh, of
possible.
course. But it's just, even those couple of seconds in League, situations can change completely depending on cooldowns, depending on damage that
Yeah, well, he
gets
got the
done.
pink.
We have the lane swaps coming
And the
through,
Ornn just looks
come
like it
through
wins.
early on here for
Maybe
a
it gets
possible
harder
drop
later
setup.
when he
To
gets
Leandries.
Leandries.
Continue to see the prio from
But I
Guma
feel like Doran's had to
we
push
don't
the whole
really
game.
expect this early kill to change the lane, and I think Guma and Keria have been doing a really good job of making sure that that gold lead kind of
Hoisting
shrinks
it Dovin.
again.
Yep.
Dead?
Oh, here's the on-horn.
Oh,
Everyone's
clean by
flashing
Dorat.
in, and Ona Just gonna
Very
put a stick into
clean.
the little yodel.
Wait, Doran's
Takes down
smurfing.
the rumble here. I would have said first blood, but
The
it
R
wasn't.
flash, so he can't
that
react.
One had happened already, but still, first real kill after the laning phase started. As in goes Lehens and out goes Lehens.
Big win. That is Doran getting further ahead.
Faker.
He's now a level up on Kingen, by the way. Like that
Yeah.
was
I'm surprised Faker didn't
really,
ult there.
this entire wave is, I think, going to be missed. This was a really big gank because it further accelerates Owner, and Owner we have established needs to be in a good spot for I think T1 to do well. Kind of goes both ways. If he's playing
Faker smashing
poorly, I
this
think
lane.
T1 suffers disproportionately.
This matchup is
and,
quite hard for
you know,
Yone.
being a jungler on a team that isn't having the best of form also kind of ties into that. But if he does accelerate, generally he looks very, very good. The lane pressure comes through now, and it's Doran doing a lot of the heavy lifting there, right? When you look at the health bar of King and going into that play, he was basically just served up to this Pantheon on a silver platter.
Yeah, Kingen really not having a great time so far in this game. This is a champion that he has found a lot of success on.
I think T1 can just relax this game.
Whether some of these team fights can turn things around.
The Oran's already ahead into Rumble. The Akali's winning lane.
Gets better and better. You know, being able to give like.
The only thing that sucks is Jiwoo got a first blood cheese. Or like invade.
Best non-committal
For
hearties
T1. And for Nongshim, I think they have to force these grubs when they spawn. I think Jiwoo needs a base before these grubs.
Good stuff.
Well, Nongshim, this is not the power spike yet, right? They want to hit that mid game. They want to be able to get these skirmishes started around the Sejuani and around this Yone, who is also not having the greatest time. Like Faker's laning on this Akali has been fantastic so far. You can see 250 gold is going to be his advantage at this point in time. He's got his Hex Tech cookie completed, and things looking pretty bright for T1 so far, but it's also only a 400 gold lead team-wide, so it's not really meaning too much. As Gideon going to be moving over towards Calyx, seeing whether they can find a little bit of an angle, or whether maybe there's going to be a dragon looked at for that bottom side of the map, or bottom side of the jungle, sorry, is going to be taken.
A very slow game.
Looks like a shove there to ensure Calyx can get it back in. Going to be having a decent amount of gold here, only sitting on a family.
Is it consistent that Ornn can beat Rumble like
this? The
this?
one-item spike for Nongshim is obviously amazing. And when it comes to Owner, Faker, and Guma, it's kind of similar, right? Like, that is one of the interesting things when evaluating these compositions.
-1, by the way.
Oh. That's fine.
Yeah, Doran was doing so well, and now he's behind.
Relative to cannons.
The amount of cannons, exactly.
I guess he kind of does need Leandries against Ornn. If he goes Rocket Belt against Ornn, isn't he just homeless?
Oh, that's
right,
W used.
Yeah, Gideon looking for the angle here, and he should be able to find it. There's the permafrost, there's the ulti, and holding people in place is something that Sejuani is pretty good at. No flash available. The equalizer was probably unnecessary, but it looked very, very cool.
Okay, so T1 get 3 grubs.
So that is going to be the return kill, some revenge here for Kingen.
Rumble gets a bit back in the game.
Nongshim was that if we don't use the equalizer, Kingen can TP. Oh my god!
Flashing for it. They find the knockup on a
Does he
carrier
die
as
though?
well. As he cleanses, he's just ignoring Ona, who will be able to protect his cow.
they get
and
nothing.
The deadly flourish to stop Lehens
They get nothing.
from going any further forward.
Nice try though by
3
Jiwoo.
summoner spells though invested by Nongshim.
It's a shame they use so much to get it there, but they get nothing.
So maybe Nongshim coming off a little worse for wear.
Definitely not worth,
Baker,
but it does
300
echo
gold
what
lead,
Lehens
pretty
said
solid.
about playing with Vital and Jiwoo respectively. And I quote, Vital's a bit more stable, Jiwoo is a lot more aggressive. And I think we saw that right there. You know, he's got the dog in him, he's looking for the play.
You just
Was
queue
this a good
backwards,
play?
Faker?
No, because as mentioned, Alistair flashed, which he doesn't really care about too much. Whereas there were, particularly the Xayah flash, I think, is the biggest deal, right? Like Xayah flash is a really important summoner on any AD carry, but particularly on her, because even with her ult, you can buy safety, but you can't buy space.
Who's in a better position right now? It's funny how no one... These swaps make it so Drake doesn't get taken until 10 minutes.
To be made. But yeah, so going back to that bot side play.
He dead?
Oh, he can flash.
So I was thinking they could time it up a bit better.
Over the wall goes Calyx.
Now Calyx is fucked.
I'm not sure about this one because he's now getting closed in on.
Nice flash. That was a crazy good flash, and that Sejuani stun timing was perfect. Rumble's behind Calyx.
Piling in as we have zoomed out so far. I didn't even know this was possible. It's absolutely insane. Down goes the jungler.
Q3. Wow, Calyx lived.
But he's able to dash his way out.
And Gideon's the one who
it
dies.
is just 1 kill, but man, that zoom was amazing.
Truly, technology in League of Legends.
That was the greatest zoom of all time.
You can zoom out even further than that. You can see the Earth if you zoom out far enough.
Never ever heard you say stuff like that.
It was really
It was a really long zoom.
It was like we had 2 full
So
lanes.
I was mostly looking to the top part of the zoom, which was unfortunately for Calyx, as you highlighted, not the cleanest play.
But it is Leandri's Rumble.
Ended up going down.
I guess now it
Not
gets a bit
going
tricky
down,
for
but ended
Ornn,
up
right?
dragging
These
his
items?
jungler, and then
I'm
Timon
guessing
was
this
able to
hurts
get the
now.
kill. What I really want to highlight on there is one of the biggest advantages T1 have had, and this goes back to
Here, I think if
ever
he
since
times the
core
stun
this
with
team's
Yone
come
flash
together,
ulting or something, could
is
go crazy.
Their willingness and ability to
But he
go
holds
for
his
these
stun for some
mid-game
reason.
skirmishes and
And
play
baits
them out really
Calyx.
nicely. So Calyx,
Calyx missing every button was a bit of a problem.
yeah, it doesn't help. Maybe they thought there was a timer on the flash that owner didn't have it available. I don't know. And then here we have Gideon, unfortunately, yeah, never gonna get out of that. Like, does a decent job of sidestepping,
Yeah,
but there's
nice
just
pick.
way too much damage.
So Nongshim get the first strike at 12 minutes.
get themselves the first dragons. But there's at least
11 minutes.
that.
But right there we see the value of how much long range T1 have when it comes to catching people, right? Because Akali obviously needs to be in melee form, as does Owner. But you have on one give the Ornn Horn being used, as there is an equalizer.
I think it does get
these
pretty tough now,
harpoons
doesn't it?
are
Look at that.
really connecting now for King, and actually some fancy footwork by the Rumble. So winning out on that particular trade, and has moved into a gold advantage off the back end of that players. Yeah, Calyx is going to try and unbind the soul
Nice
as best he
Q3.
can. Great knockup.
Nice ult as well, but Keria has aggro as
Calyx
Alistar. He don't
actually
give a fuck.
managing to do pretty well in the fight, but still,
Keria
Faker with the
tanks.
perfect execution is going to be able to take him down, and Gideon not able to offer enough support. So the woes for this mid laner continue.
The side laning of T1 is a little bit better. It's the Bash Bros owner and Keria
It's
running
the
around
Bash
the map.
Bros.
Is blowing people up.
Yeah.
The Bash
Now we're in a
Bros.
situation where Faker has a extremely substantial side lane lead. Gio, he's here in mid, pushing away, but even with Doran
got the iPad?
taking a bit of a beating there in the top lane, hasn't given up a single play thus far.
Hello,
Taking
chat and
a look
Caedrel,
here,
have a nice
so
day.
they know
Thank
this
you,
is
man.
coming. Calyx is able
I
to
mean,
dodge
Alistar
the
is such
E,
a
which
cheat
keeps
code
alive
when you
for a
cross
little
map.
longer.
Alistar
But
will just
the
stand
ult
there.
from Gideon goes wide. He maybe
he will
can
tank
CC
10
owner.
tower
I think
shots.
there's a world where
You have
the
10 seconds that I bought.
Yone actually lives, right? There is so much sustain in the kit. Not going to be the case. Also think the angle there was a little bit rough, right? Like he was, if it was 2 seconds earlier, you could probably turn around that play. Not going to be the case though. And T1, the squad lead slowly extending. And yeah, as I was highlighting, even though a lot of the characters are melee, you do have a lot of effective range.
Melee. Ooh, Doran, bad timing.
Doran,
Can he
I
play
don't
this?
know.
Yes, Pantheon ult.
Okay, it's gonna be a 2v2.
Wait,
They get
what?
the knockup. Bouncy
He was
castle
inside
here
the
for
Ornn
King, but
angle there?
Equalizer
What?
Was doing so much work. The flash
Nice
comes
TP
down,
by
and
Calyx.
just picks up the kill, and somehow
I did not expect him to
King
get his ult
limps
off like that.
away.
Jokes about Ornn aside, the damage isn't quite there. I guess he's only been
Ooh,
trained
Nongshim
in the
recovering
tank
well.
part, not the mage and warlock. Little,
Leone needs that
Did
blade.
nerf
He
the
needs to
mage
catch up to
warlock
Akali.
Assassin fighter warrior.
Yeah, they have. They
did
really
nerf
have
those
many times. So I don't want to put this on Doran. I think it's more of a champion issue. He only has Kanik Rooker, right? But what we did see there is that thanks to the timely arrival of Calyx, good TP there, ends up turning the fight around. That is a big shutdown going over.
What?
The world's shortest teleport here
What
by
the
King,
fuck was that TP?
as he just wanted to try and put the pressure onto Faker. I'm not
What?
entirely sure. I was a
Was
bit
he
perplexed
scared
by
that
that
someone
one,
was
but
in the
that's
bush
still
ready to dive
absolutely
him?
fine.
If he
Calyx
tried
gonna
to
be
cross?
Going back to his soul, and I think one thing that you alluded
That's gotta
to
be a
just
Taylor Swift
before
TP right
is
there.
the lack of damage. We're talking about, you know, Pantheon and the Ornn here. If Faker isn't able to just have some of the best Akali teamfights that we've ever seen, the lack of damage is going to be a real problem here for this composition as they get later into the game. So T1, unless they start that snowball rolling, Gumayusi gets way too big to handle. It's going
Maybe I
to
shouldn't say that. Maybe I'm gonna get
become
cancelled
more
now.
and more of a problem.
So one of the things that T1 can do, and that's why I think they're going to play towards if these mid-game skirmishes start to go kind of awry, is just play for side. Because your ability to collapse on side, I think, is way better. In a front-to-back team fight, even with Ornn, which sounds
Don't
kind of weird,
open
but I do
Twitter.
think you're going to struggle because
I
you're
can't
playing
believe
into
you made that
Rakan, you're
joke.
playing
How
into
dare
Zaya,
you.
You're playing into Sejuani and Rumble, right? There's so much team fighting power there.
It's a cruel
But
summer.
Akali, I don't think will be matched by anyone inside. Like,
Okay,
neither
I'm gonna stop
Calyx
being
nor
funny now.
Keegan should be able to deal with him. And then you can very easily support with either the Jhin ult, with Pantheon ulting in, or even Doran can slow down try and look for an engage as well. Nongshim, though, I think, as they should, continuously playing
When did
aggressive,
you start?
continuously looking, and this first game dead even, and I want to remind everyone of the stakes. This game is a big deal. Atlas and I haven't gone off topic in 15 minutes.
Yeah, we've been seriously
that
talking
really
about this game.
True, they have not talked about dinosaurs or their favorite moment in time.
No, that's very.
They have
actually,
been focused
that's
on the
more
game.
on topic than anything we've arguably ever said, because that was the coolest Zoom ever.
It was the coolest Zoom ever. No one's ever spoken about a Zoom like that ever before. It's past. And Scouts is going to try and do some damage here to Doran.
I think this is
Be careful.
quite important,
now
isn't
I'm
it?
like, okay, let's
Doesn't
let's
T1
have
want to
a
match
topic about
Akali
observing
into
it, and
Yone?
Before you know it, we're talking about movies, Atlas.
Yeah,
I want to stay
exactly.
locked in.
Yeah, we need
this game
to. We need to.
Because it matters a lot. Even a single game win, again, can be the difference maker for Nongshim.
This is really, really good to have that.
For Nongshim, ladies and gentlemen.
And
this is the
DK,
biggest part. And DK and KT. But like, as far as the teams that are in this game,
I guess
certainly
Akali's
means a
winning
whole lot more
into Rumble.
for
So.
Nongshim as the equalizer goes down. Doesn't
It's
manage to
fine.
get the cannon. I'm pretty sure. That was a bit sad.
Yeah.
Finished off by the turret.
T1 is kind of just playing for vibes.
They are kind of playing, but the vibes are really important because after this match, they head off to Road to MSI looking to win a best of 5 against maybe even this team.
Could happen.
And so picking up a victory here.
It'll be
a
against
big deal.
DK.
Of course,
We all
starting
know
off the
that.
red side a little bit rough here for
We
T1.
all know
They
it'll
have
be against
benefited a
DK.
lot from the
No one believes
first
me.
pick ability. And Nongshim being able to utilize that one here.
Oh, there's the collapse.
That's a big old knock-up as Carrier is coming in. They're looking for an angle, and they want to get both of them.
Oh, he
There
got
is
the ult off
ulti
in
to
time.
come out. The ult comes through as well from Calyx.
Oh, playing Yone
Moves
into
one
Akali,
behind the
that's
soul,
not
and
fun.
he's just dead.
Oh, he's put the
Lost
Herald
him
down.
by the shuriken.
Get in the Herald!
That is deadly. And now the Rift Herald is just going to pop down for fun and not do a whole lot.
Yeah, so Gideon tried to take the... He missed the bus. He tried to take the Rift Herald exit.
Yeah.
You know, just
The bus.
summon it. If he did it earlier, he actually would have
He might have been able to get the mid turret.
He would have... No, like, he could have left easily. Actually, in hindsight, I think he realized it too late. But because the moment the TP comes in, right, like they're really far overextended. The fact that Gideon gets caught there on the Krugs is the biggest thing. I think T1 was just happy to only pick up Calyx instead they got a 2-for-0 combo deal.
Yeah,
but
it was actually a really good heads-up play to not go all in on just getting the kill onto Gideon.
Yep.
They're like, wait a second, nah, we get both. Because Carrier, he could have opted into it, right? But instead, he's
I like this
no,
little
no, let's
backstep
just
from
wait.
Doran
I'm gonna go wrap
when Sejuani
around. We're
ults him
gonna
so he
kill
can get his
both
ult
these
off.
Yeah, they were, I think, only expecting to get Calyx. And Calyx, I think, would have died anyway. Was going too aggressive for this turret. If Gideon goes for that earlier, he actually makes it, by the way. Like, he can get out.
Yeah.
But instead, the CC chain is obviously there. Nicely done by T1 not to let that Sejuani exit the premises. And instead,
Is it a volume increase, chat?
more kills going over, but the gold lead remains
Little bit.
suspiciously close. As Ocean, for both of these teams, is so annoying to play into because there are a lot of beefy characters. I guess neither of them is playing poke, so at least that helps. I swear I've seen teams. I can think of at least 2 separate instances where DK picked a poke comp, and then that's playing to Ocean Soul and just...
Why are we bringing
I'm
up
pretty sure it
DK?
happened to T1 at some point as well.
Why are
They're
we
one of the
bringing
other
up
teams
DK?
that really like those poke style comps.
Oh,
that's
Q
a
flash.
over
Carrier.
grand entrance.
He's
Headbutt
angry.
is going to go towards
Carrier attack.
Faker. As now Jiu getting stunned up. And has to go into that Featherstorm pretty early on. Permafrost goes down. Jiu's trying to kite as best he can.
Okay, Faker. Okay. You're gonna die for that, but enemy Xayah is dead. Carrier has no ult. Guma needs to stop reloading. Get some bullets out. Calyx is alive? What? Wait. Guma can't do anything this fight. What? What happened to Guma this fight? All of them survived. What?
Better AD carry than Jin. What the heck was that, King?
What?
As that's an ace for Nongshim.
I need to rewatch that fight like 10 times.
That's a 5-for-1.
Guma got 0 damage out,
I saw the
and Nongshim dodged everything and spaced everyone. What the fuck?
Okay.
And then it was all Nongshim.
I was
What?
ready to kind of criticize Jiu, as this is a classic T1 play. They go in on the river, see the AD carry. Jiu holds on to his ult
What
and his
the
sums
fuck?
for so long here, and at first it kind of looks
So
like a
far,
mistake,
Jin
but
fine.
As it turns out, it ends up baiting Faker in. Faker goes extremely deep, ends up going down, and then how did
Oh
they
my
stay
god,
alive
Guma's
for so
trying, you
long?
know,
Look
he
at the
just
damage.
he would have to flash the Rakan W.
Only Guma.
And then he goes for the
Yeah, 'cause
fourth shot
Faker
and gets
blew, and again, not just
he
Faker,
fourth
they
shots.
blew
Oh
so
my
much.
god.
killing
Oh my
Jiu.
god, Nongshim.
And guess what? You killed Jiu. But unlike T1, there are 3 carries on
Any
this
other AD
team.
carry there just
And
pentakills,
Rumble
doesn't it?
Yeah.
is just cooking the entire... Oh, what?
The Jin reload is so
Well, they're
disgusting.
cooking steak, I guess.
Horrible
That's what
timings.
they're having today. As now Owner is also in a whole lot of trouble. Faker dancing around this fight though. He's got that perfect execution. Great knock-up to come through from Doran. As now Gideon
That's
will
the
get
one fight you look
taken
at Jin and you're
down.
like, fuck
Faker
any
able
other
to get
champ.
out this time as the curtains have been called.
Doran.
Fifth curtains for Doran.
How did this
Before
fight
too
even
long, and now an equalizer going to block off both Owner and Faker.
How did this
Otherwise
fight even
not do
start?
anything
What
at
is
all.
happening?
So Gideon does go down 2-for-1 trade at the minute as that shuriken backflip kind of gorgeous there for Faker, but he's not going to go too far in. Man, I've seen Lee Sins make that play.
Oh, you
Faker
know
to
he
go,
wanted to.
knows.
That finger was hovering,
Oh, yeah.
Atlas.
Oh, yeah.
This game is turning very quickly into MAME. If Guma positioned his ult a little bit better there and hit his first shot, that could have been a full wipe for Nongshim. That was dangerously close to T1 fully turning it around. Not quite gonna happen. And I gotta say, the lane positioning at Calyx and his early laning phase were not the best, but the man is doing his job in these team fights.
Oh, yeah. He's certainly locking in now.
You know what that is?
Shaking the sillies out.
That's Challenger's phase.
It absolutely
As
is.
Nongshim, there's pulling trick. Look, these ults are not available for T1, and without their ults, I don't know if they can contest this.
Doran does have his. You can see Gumayushi's still a long way away without his ultimate. Remember, he has 0 range. Apart from a deadly flourish.
They have the feathers.
Let's
They have
see
the
whether
feathers.
Owner can get in there and take this one
Oh,
down.
Calyx,
The ultimate
please get out.
from Calyx says absolutely not as the ram comes
Rakan
in.
dead.
And they take down my
Jiu
hands.
has ult.
Jiu trying his
Faker.
very best to kite as Faker gets himself all the way back to his shroud.
The 4-man
and
route.
isn't going to be able to offer any more damage. And a Lahens for an Otacon. Nongshim would take that any day of the week.
The only one who might disagree with there is Lahens, and I think even he is wise enough
he
to
would have
know.
called it. He would have made the call, Cronny, you know that.
Carrier just gets blown up. Without his ultimate, Alistar really isn't that tanky. I want to look at how does T1 turn this around. I think it's Doran and Faker, like the damage and knock-up combo, plus Owner living, and then look at this ult from Guma. If he positions that a little bit different, and they're actually able to get another
Nah, they
shot
would
in,
cancel his
maybe they
ult.
can at least trade for Lahens as well, as we take a look here. Calyx has just been on point. It starts with the perma or the ultimate, the prison from Gideon, and then the follow-up is there.
trying to force
But
straight.
right here, T1 really wants to try and extend this play with the other debuff still
Are
there.
they getting the straight?
It's the recall
Faker's
and
TPing
straight
in.
into
It's an
another
all-in.
fight, Atlas.
Yes, this is what we be doing. Get out, get straight back in again.
Yone has no
As
ult.
Lahens is
Faker's
gonna
dead.
interrupt Faker, Jiu's going to take him down now. An equalizer on
Guma's
top of
fucked. He has flash, though.
Gumayushi. And
Oh
there
my
is
god, he's
no
dead
one
as
to
well.
defend him. Down goes both of the damage dealers. T1 have no way
Oh,
out.
it's over.
They are just cooked. This dragon
They are
is now gonna be
just
taken. That is a
cooked.
clean ace, an objective steal, and whatever the heck else Nongshim want to get.
I thought
Guess
the
they're
1
cool.
for 5 was the best deal they were going to get.
There's always a better deal, Chronicler. I learned that from Danny DeVito and Matilda back in the day.
And really what we're learning here again is that challengers reign supreme, because both Lahens and Jiu are looking sharp here as T1 really
Faker
want to
gets
deny this
insta chain
Faker
CC
does nothing
dead.
in this fight.
And then
Guma
Jiu gets the root on
doesn't
Guma as
die
well.
immediately, but he still
I
doesn't
feel like
do any
Jiu and Lahen
damage.
just killed both the
And
carries for free.
This is what we said with this draft. This is what we were worried about.
yeah.
And as we can see, as soon as Faker doesn't do heaps of damage, or Guma doesn't get to set up for an ult and kind of work on the outskirts of these fights,
Nongshim's champs are broken.
the fights just aren't playable.
If Xayah
Now,
Rakan can
Otacon
hit
is there
against
for
their
Nongshim,
champs
so
on
any
T1.
fight will get even more snowbally. And there have been
Easy
games
win.
where I think people kind of hone in on the draft for T1, and I'm like, I don't know, I think it's mostly gameplay. A lot of the Humble Life games kind of went
I don't
that
think it's
way.
a draft
In
diff
this
though.
one, though,
I just think that
we
these
had our
champs on Nongshim are
reservations.
broken as fuck.
And I think those
I
reservations
was ready for them to be like, oh, even though we've got this almost unplayable draft,
'Cause it
we're
hap-
going to show you that
because
it's
this-
really good.
this
Yeah,
happens
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot. Yeah,
it
no.
happens a lot. The
We've-
nameplates are powerful. But they're not powerful enough, and especially not now. We're seeing like that last fight was the perfect example.
I think the
of
bot
exactly
matchup is
what we were
like
talking
Akali
about.
beats Yone. Orin
And
seems to be doing well into Rumble
obviously, Nongshim
with
is a blue
Pantheon ult
side.
as
I
well.
think the game at this
Like,
point
the
is
top
fully
side
in
for me
Nongshim's
is
hands.
fine.
We could see T1 get a crazy
like bot
comeback,
matchup
but
is-
I don't think it should
I don't know.
happen.
I don't feel like the
Particularly
Jhin
'cause Nongshim's
Alistar
comp
could do
is so
much,
good
and the
in
Xayah
actual
Rakan
team
can run
fight,
this whole
right?
game.
Often where you see teams kind of throw a lead is if their comps aren't good 5v5s. But if you're playing a side lane comp, which I think T1 really ideally want to play 1-4, you can't do that right now.
Lahens is going to knock up Carrier, and Carrier is going to have to ult, but the CC is still raining down. Thankfully, Aftershock is going to be there. So with the ultimate and Aftershock, Carrier will be able to get out with at least a bit more than half of his
Ruler
health
and
bar.
Duro.
Nongshim
I
now,
feel
though,
like
just
isn't picking
full
Alistar on
control.
4 on red side a very
And
humble
Gio able to
thing
push
to
up,
do?
And
It's like
they will
T1
make
kinda
it
copied
so
that
dark
strat.
on this top side of the
But
map.
it ended up in a bad
Baron
bot
up
matchup.
and available.
Alistar on 4, I feel like I see that from Hammer Life or Chenji. One of the two of them do it.
Lahen's still looking for more and more angles. Doran tries his hand at face checking. And T1 need to do this because they need to try and get
Orin is
vision
level
on this
13,
Baron because we
Rumble's
mentioned
level 15 and a
Nongshim,
half.
they have damage. They destroy Baron. They've got a Rumble and a Xayah. So if they look at
I
it,
do feel like
yeah,
if you
and
look
Yone.
across the board, the Yone
This
was...
time around, though, they're going to look for the pick on towards this,
he's real
this
dead.
King. And yeah, he's really dead. They're going to be able to
Can they
take
get here
that
in
one.
time?
Calyx over this wall, though, and we'll
4K?
see what the T1 can get here in
3K, 2K.
Gold.
Oh,
He doesn't flash
nice
in
try.
early enough.
It was a bit too
and the
late, though. He
Baron
didn't have
is
vision.
secured. There's a Glacial Prison as
Can
well.
they get out,
Gideon just
Nongshim?
trying to get himself out of there. Nongshim wanting to protect
I respect the
Barons.
Pantheon for flashing
And
forwards, even though it
Onuf
was
is in
dead.
so much trouble. They dive on top
Oh, they're all
of
dead.
Faker.
T1's dead now.
He's knocked
T1's
up
just cooked. They're all cooked.
forever.
T1's cooked. It's all
And they
cooked.
still don't have damage, ladies and gentlemen. Gumayushi gonna have to be chased out of this one, and we'll see whether
Sejuani
he's
spamming
gonna
E on her
survive.
keyboard.
Is in range, and it in fact just last hits him. They will trade their walking barbecue for a Baron, and then just kill them anyway.
That's a fourth amazing deal for Nongshim. They just keep stringing these together.
It's extraordinary.
Hands for Otacon, great deal. 1 for 5, wonderful. 5 for 0, I thought
Great
it didn't
deal.
get better.
These
Well,
like
the
combos
Dragon
in a
as well.
fucking poker
Barbecue
game.
for Nash, that's a freebie. And the pick on Rumble is nice, but I want you to look at how much
The
is
damage
invested
that
here.
Nongshim have
This is free ultimates.
And
on the Baron is
flash from Doran
absurd.
as well,
They
which
have
looked
Xayah,
kinda cool and
Yone. I
stuff,
feel like
but
these two champs murder Barons.
Yeah, you really didn't. That wasn't necessary. And it doesn't make a difference. I don't think so.
They do so much damage.
Except that Ornald, right? Like if the Ornald's available here, maybe they can make a play. But instead, look at Faker's health bar.
Oh, he was
Immediately-
mid shuriken backflip. I think he started the animation and then was just CC.
This chat is
denied,
toxic.
wasn't
Is
able
it?
to get in,
I
unless
feel
it
like
was
all
his
this chat
ultimate,
does
which
is
they
write
didn't
lol
even work.
emotes and then
Akali,
just
like,
XGGs.
trying
and
to
that's
play
it.
the fights where the enemy team knows you're there, has more
I
than
think all
enough
this chat does
CC
is
and
write lol or
basically
pre-lol
funneling you
or
to the
LO.
choke
That's
point.
literally the
Because
chat
I understand why T1
nowadays.
is trying to fight there. They know the game is basically over, and you got to go for the Hail Mary fight after Nongshim have just taken down Nash. But this first game is looking like the T1 draft not working out, but there is a good amount of power picks that I am worried that have already been taken away, right? Gumayushi's Jhin, I think, has been by far his best champion.
Guma Susi's.
That already off the table, and him not having the best performance on it, not a great sign.
Yep. And also being able to pick Rakan in a game 1 and not having it get punished by things like
I think
Poppy
T1 will,
and
with
the
Xayah,
Talia
Rakan out
is
and
kinda
Jhin out,
huge as
T1
well.
game 2
So
will pick
Lehens
Lucian.
getting a lot
Mark
of
my words.
advantages out of that. Speaking of which, he
Oh
goes
my god,
in,
Lehens, that was
doesn't quite
disgusting.
find Guma, and he's likely going to get popped. Does try and battle dance his way out, and in fact he does.
Faker
Into the backline goes
gets
Faker,
one
but
shot.
they just see him and destroy him. The ulti from Calyx as well collects the rest of them, and Nongshim are just playing with their food at this point. It's a triple kill for Gio. They just need to wait for the Conga line of minions, and the Noodle Boys will do
All right,
it
1-0
here
up
in
to
game
Nongshim.
1 against T1. We're going to have to see some better champions
Guma
picked
clutch kick.
from our third place team here in the LCK if they want to be able to reign supreme
Chat.
against Nongshim. And you best believe DK and KT.
Chat, I'm gonna run ads now. I'm gonna go do this
right now.
content piece. I'll be back in like 5-10 minutes. You can just watch the
It's
LCK
the
for a second. I just have to go film this thing real quick with Nime. Right back real quick, okay? Hold up.
It's a strategy
We're
that
back for game
gotten
2.
them 2
go
world
do this thing with Nime.
championships.
Hold up.
But halfway through mid-game, Nongshim says, guess what? We'll throw down.
Yeah.
From that point on, after that 1 for 5, Nongshim just kept it going, and I want to reiterate, Nongshim, this was blue side, they got an insane draft, right? We talked about the draft gap. They might end up losing this series. Guess what? It doesn't matter. Even this single game win can be what ends up getting them. And say that they somehow, with a T1 that clearly has not bounced back from that Humble Life series, end up getting a 2-0, that is, for them, a lock-in into that Legend group.
Legend Group is what this is all about, making sure that you have the best matchups possible. Gio doing so much damage in this game.
Pantheon should
No, well, this is the problem, right?
not be doing the most damage. That's not
No,
a good thing.
it certainly isn't. And like the fact that Nongshim were able to catch Faker every single time. Oh my goodness, he's got a little melon hat.
The melon hat!
Oh, that is extraordinary. Okay, no, I completely understand now.
You get it!
I should have been looking at that one. I definitely should have. It is time for us to look towards heading to a break. When we get back to space, he's going to break down game number 1, and we'll see whether Nongshim can confirm their spot or whether T1 will bounce back. We'll see you soon.
믿어야 돼. 나 봐야 돼 이거. 빨리 해볼게. 천천히. 맞아. 앞라인부터. 나 이거 갈게. 오케이. 앞라인부터 봐도 돼. 앞라인 빨리. 앞라인부터. 빨리 앞라인부터. 시험 돌아와. 괜찮아. 알코리 아직. 야, 아칼리. 나 알코리. 맞을래? 맞아, 높으래. 하자. 미드라인은 끝내면 될 때, 얘들아. 나이스. 한번 더 하자. 내가 좀 못했다, 이거. 노프리긴 했대. 여기까지. 타워 셌네. 노프리긴 해. 타워.
Hello and welcome to the space. We are here after game number 1 of Nongshim versus T1, which Nongshim were able to take with pretty much flying colors. There were a couple of back and forth fights there in the mid game that did look good for T1 and a couple of early moments as well, but Nongshim eventually did take the game this time around. I am Valdez, with me is Ox and of course Wolf. How are you guys doing today?
Pretty good. You know, that was a chaotic game and it really came down to the team fighting, which is normally a spot where T1 kind of excel, kind of come out ahead, especially around those objectives. So credit to Nongshim for really putting their foot forward when it came to those moments.
I think Nongshim also known for scrappy team fighting and out-handsing in those big skirmishes, but like on a tier list below where we put T1, where we put Hanwha Life, right? A team that has kind of ran some of the east side throughout this year with skirmishes like this, and I feel like T1 definitely had eyes bigger than their stomach in some of the fights they were trying to force and take. In turns where players like Caedrel were getting caught and they tried to turn into a huge team fight win, and Nongshim just outplayed them at every turn.
Yeah, it was definitely, you know, a composition for the side of T1 that definitely would lend itself to a lot of fights, right? You look at the Akali, you look at the Pantheon, you look at the Jhin, right? There's a lot of setup there for their side, so definitely felt like they were looking to take as many fights as possible, but it eventually came back to bite them. As we'll take a look at highlight number 1 here, the 19-minute river fight where T1 start this, Caedrel flashes in to make this play happen.
Yeah, so Caedrel starts this off with the engage, right? And they have a Pantheon that's in range here. They have Faker coming through. And the Jhin ultimate is angled here, so it feels like, okay, this fight's going to work out for T1. And Gio kind of messes up the usage of his sums there, but it kind of baits Faker in. And then this Rumble is just unchecked in the remainder of the fight and is really just only barred by his cooldowns. The equalizer here is phenomenal, and nobody can stop this guy.
I think this thing, you know, getting this Xayah obviously massive, but so many resources were committed to taking down this one member. And the Rumble just thriving into a comp that is mostly short-range characters, you know. It's 4 meta characters and a Jhin. The Jhin doesn't have ult anymore, so he has to come in closer. The equalizer value is massive, and Kingen showing what we kind of saw from him in the LCK Cup, where Rumble was one of his best champions.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious he was on his game today, and even though Jiu got kind of caught in that fight, he kind of baited everyone into that weird kind of angle where the Jhin was not really getting a whole lot of value. We can take a look at the second highlight as well, which is really the nail in the coffin on this teleport.
Yeah, so this is really unfortunate. I think T1 just didn't realize that Nongshim were going to come for a contest, and they scramble here to try to fight back, and Faker's just caught on this off angle. Guma walks forward to try to help peel for him, and then also finds himself isolated. Kingen's 1v2ing on the other side, while Owner is nowhere near smite range on this dragon. I don't think this fight could have been any more broken up for T1. Just disrespecting Nongshim, thinking they weren't going to come in for the contest. They had really no setup here at all. It was extremely sloppy and frankly almost a little bit lazy the way they started this dragon off, and then the TP is kind of the cherry on top, because Faker could have TP'd to a safer location. Guma could have kited back because the dragon was not even at like half health. They could have actually just played it slow, but instead they all into a fight. It's just overconfidence that T1 has had in both of these highlights we showed, where they just don't respect their opponents. They're like, oh, we win this easy. We had the better hands. We're ahead on gold. And then they just kind of get bopped.
I think it was a little bit rushed as well. Like, the vision setup wasn't ideal. You know, when Faker TP'd, didn't quite see that Jiwoo and Lehens were coming around. I think they played it really well, but I think the contrast, the previous fight started off well for T1, and then really they just ran out of tools in it. This one, I just don't think a fight could start off worse. The fact you lose the Akali without really doing anything, and then quickly Guma follows after, it was just, the game was just done after this point.
And there were a couple of fights where T1 looked pretty good before that happened, and they were getting a lead, and like some of their lane leads were good. I liked some of the roaming we saw from Caedrel attacking a lot of the side lanes and using their Pantheon very well. It just kind of all fell apart in the span of 4 minutes, and T1 looked like they were going to get ahead and win this game, but that did not happen. So T1 moving over to the blue side here for game number 2. What would we like to see here differently for the second game?
Well, I think just playing a little bit slower and playing a little bit more towards vision probably would work out here for T1. I want to talk about Gio because he has really returned to form, coming back here to the LCK, looking way better than before he took a short hiatus when we had Vital in. We were criticizing him a lot. It felt like the problem was getting worse and worse and worse week to week. But he comes in today, and you know, he had that one, you could call it a mistake, but it kind of baited Faker moment in that fight, but otherwise had a pretty clean game of Xayah, had the flash play to get the root, had the root to defend on the Baron exit, just had a really nice Xayah game, so I'm hoping that Nongshim continue to play through him a little bit.
Yeah, if anyone's not aware, Jiwoo played in challenges, and Lehens actually joined him most recently, so they played together to get more practice together. They didn't actually win in challenges, but you know, the practice seems to have helped because they both played really well in that first game.
They absolutely did. And here's looking towards Nongshim. We'll see if they can get the quick 2-0 victory, which would be an upset in our minds. Not a lot of Preds going towards Nongshim in this one. But let's see what happens here in Game 2. Let's go back to Atlas and Chronicler.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for the breakdown there of game number 1. And I'm glad that we're all on pretty much the same page as far as this draft not necessarily working out. But Nongshim definitely looking a bunch better. I'm glad that we had Orcs harkening back to Lahen's little journey towards Challenger. As that is a dope mullet there on
I could see him do it.
Okay.
Lions would.
He would. He definitely would. I think that's got to be a famous Korean guy, but I have absolutely no idea what that is a reference to. Certainly looked really cute. Super famous older Korean guy who was a singer back in the day. Na Huna. There we go. So if you guys know who that is, that's cool. Okay, let's dive into the draft here for game number 2. Blue side for T1. And we'll see whether they can make better of it this time around.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
I mean, I would love a wilder range of hairstyles.
We didn't manage to finish the content piece, but we're like halfway through a content piece. Hey, chat, I promised you, when the Lost for Tones bootcamp, I promised you a lot of...
It was glorious. It was very, very, very
Were you on the
nice.
stream?
So hopefully we do get that sort of
I promised you a lot of content pieces.
And Elise first ban here for T1 is going to come on through. That is a little
So I'm trying to get them all sorted.
As once again, the Azir
I don't know where I put my coffee. GG.
So we're going to ban Victor.
Alright, talk to me, T1. What you got?
Yep.
And then T1 is going to be one...
Gwen.
Sion Ben.
Gwen is the most
They're so
likely.
paranoid of Sion on
Yorick
3
might
or
be
what?
Another?
Did Gwen
Yorick
Jace?
did have a banger Yorick game, and teams really rate the pick. I think Gwen is more likely, but we'll have to see.
Is it just the Victor first pick? The Victor final ban?
Why is T1 down a game?
For sure.
Because they
Also,
lost.
Kali is one of the counter picks, right? You can still go Silas, but Silas is a bit more draft dependent. As far as counter picks go, I'd be very... Oh, it's going to be the Vi instead. So
Vi
Victor...
did need to be banned.
So they're banning Vi, I presume, for AD jungler 1-2 or what? Or they just don't like Vi.
Really crazy happens.
Like a lot of these... Gwen first pick, that makes sense. A lot of these teams still think Vi is busted.
Okay, so Faker not feeling like he needs...
Victor open for Faker. Ari open for Faker.
When he's not facing off against Zeka or Chovy or one of the more powerful mid laners here in the LCK. That could make some sense because Calix's laning phase was not really something to be too feared.
Really, the chase.
You take away Victor
just a little bit here. Of course, Kingan has always been a
because
fan.
it beats
He will
Ari in
lock
lane,
it away,
right?
But I'm
take
kind of
away
with
Victor?
you. I don't feel like the Jace power level
Because I think the T1 will take Xin Zhao Victor or Xin Zhao Ari. Or in the Fury Ari. In the Fury Victor. They'll pick that 2-3.
Because you know that if you don't pick the Victor here, I do think T1 will sweep it up.
I like
I
it.
love the Poppy.
Flex.
I do think that that is a really good pickup here. Also would be good in case... Because
Poppy
owner needs to
flex.
go for an AD jungler, right? Particularly if they are going to go towards
You
the
just
Victor.
drop the Trundle now?
You're looking at least some
You just swap the
source of
Trundle?
AD in
Isn't
some
that
side of the
safer?
map.
Yep.
Trundle Victor?
As the Skarner wouldn't provide a lot
Or
of damage,
Skarner,
but it
sure.
is a very strong pick in general. It does mean
still the Victor.
I
Now
gotta
do
say
you
this
take the
top side
RE?
for T1, it'll be good eventually, but the early game, especially if Calyx goes like just the classic Silas here, which we do know Calyx loves his melee
Galio's
laners.
fine, yeah.
This is a bit more utility oriented. Don't mind that.
Will
Galio would
Nongshim
be
have
interesting.
damage
Does
though? I'm
open a
scared.
lot of
Silas,
high carry
man, this
but
Poppy
this
1-2 has
does
really made me
no-brainer.
dizzy.
Yeah, we've seen this so many times.
Rice, I don't know if
Rice,
Nongshim's
okay.
gonna have damage, man.
Don't like that quite as much.
I don't know
But it
if
does mean
Nongshim's
that
gonna have damage.
you have a considerable amount of side lane pressure. And Ryze is really good, because the Victor obviously has a decent amount of range, but the rest of T1 is going to be running into you at high speed.
Also gives you a lot of flexibility fighting
Victor is a
around
shit
objectives
champ,
later
someone
in the
says
game.
in all caps.
The Realm Warp into
Well, Chovy and
Keeper's
Faker
verdict
still
and
really
half
like
the
Victor.
enemy team away and steal the Baron
Who else likes
actually
Victor?
sounds really
I
fun,
feel like
if
it's
it ever
Chovy,
actually
Faker,
works.
and
My
Zeka.
real question
These three
is
still play
Poppy
Victor
actually
a
go
lot.
jungle? And
Other mids don't
because
really
you can
play
just
it.
slam Trundle. I just want you to think about like playing the Trundle here into Victor Skarner.
And then you get the Trundle heroic
Nico
charge
Ben
combo
Senna
as
Ben.
well. Oh my god, you are so right.
Does
but
T1
what
care
I
about
wanted to highlight
Renata?
as well is that are we
They
going to
play
see
like
the
Varus on
Skarner
4.
Poppy combo where like Skarner impales while Poppy ults and then Skarner just going to a bunch of people? Because I love that. It's so fun.
No one
That
should
would
care about
definitely be
Renata.
very cool. It did happen. Once again, Nico Renata.
Straight Renata, the respect to Carrier, still being paid. I really hope Nongshim just picks an AD carry here and doesn't reveal where this Poppy is really going. Because I think it's a big source of power. Lahen's obviously
I think T1 is going to slam Lucian Nami. Oof, maybe they can't now.
Okay,
What happens if
well,
you just pick Lucian Braum? Isn't the game
fine,
just won? I guess Lucian Poppy
guess they
sucks, but
wanted
Lucian
deny
Braum
the
is
Nautilus
free
from
win.
Carrier, the main consideration here, but then they can
Oh
just
my
slam
god, it's
Brawl.
over. I think
Yeah,
I think T1 just completely smashed them in draft.
A bit of a fumble on 4 here from Nongshim.
I think T1 have just destroyed them in draft.
This is a horrible matchup. Like, I'd say outside of Renata,
Smolder on 5, maybe save it.
You just can't do anything in lane. Now in the Lucian.
Thoughts?
Gio, is he going to try and fight fire with
Hail
fire
Mary Smolder.
play aggressive, or is he going to try and outscale? Those are kind of the two
Paris.
answers. This is fire
Chat, I'm
with
going to run
fire.
ads. If you know what ads, you can see one of the time. You have
You
to
have
one by
a
games because
lots of damage towards
I
the
think
bottom
T1's
side of the map.
automatically
We'll
won.
see which
No joke.
variety
It sounds
is,
very
because
cringe
I know
to say that, but
Wave
I just
Nautilus,
do
you will
not
go
see
for
Nongshim
the
winning this
on-hit
game.
variety.
No way.
Into this team, I think you go lethality. I don't think you want to be near anyone on that team.
Yeah,
Wanna hear a
especially
good
with
joke?
Gwen.
Yeah, you want to be able to fight for pride. Even Skarner, right? Like,
No, I don't want to hear
even
a
if
joke.
and Gio is slowly regaining form. I think it was highlighted on the space. I really do agree. I think he's slowly getting back to what we know he was back in 2023 in particular. But that'll be tough on the play out. I think Nongshim, bit of a fumble there towards the end. The draft as a whole was still good, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is still a solid draft. I would give the edge
Why
to
do we need a new
T1,
prediction,
but
Gamba?
it's
You
nothing
good?
compared to game number 1. I
You
don't
good,
want to
my
be
cuz?
very clear about that. And T1's top side and their lack of damage scares me a little. And I think
Isn't
Guma's
Nongshim
form
winning worse
has
for
been still
DK?
pretty up and down.
Why are you ulting?
Is
I'm
Jin,
not ulting.
and that is supposed to be his pick, was not convincing.
I'm not ulting.
And with Lucian,
What?
you don't get a lot of room for mistakes.
Yep. Really good to see
This
the
is 1-1. 100%.
incredible Lahen's superfans still in the audience.
I don't want to be that
here.
guy, but it's 1-1.
So many Lahen's fans turning up today. Very, very cool stuff. T1 fans, though, pretty desperate to make this one a 3-gamer. And this draft, as you mentioned, Chronicler, is looking a little bit more well-suited to making that happen. Not necessarily, like you say, as one-sided, but still a much better position to be in if you're a T1 fan. Let's dive into the Rift, see whether they can take game number 2.
There you go, bold if T1 lose this game. No.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. All bit of a 4-stack here heading towards the top side, but not going to find anyone. Some shenanigans to begin things.
You said it's a
here.
100% win for
Let's see where
T1.
the King can get some baiting happening. Don't think it is going to work out.
Yeah,
I think
on
everyone
paper.
else has probably gone back. Okay, never mind. We're flashing in.
Oh,
Did Lahen's
he
just-
doesn't know.
no.
Again? A second first blood?
Well, they're going to look for it. There's the hook connecting, and the flash heroic
What?
charge. Doran's real dead.
These Nongshim level 1s are crazy.
Nongshim are just the architects of the level 1.
They really want DK to fucking go
Lahen's
start 6th, don't they? They're doing
perhaps
all
the
this
most
level 1
sneaky
research.
Giant guy in big armor I've ever seen. Sneaks his way in. It is Gio actually going, which I love, for the Comet, so that
Jesus.
does mean he's playing lethality, which doesn't feel quite as exciting with the Nautilus as, the
Uh-oh,
reverse.
that's a no-flash Nautilus.
Lahen's, I think he has a suspicion. He still walks in. Poppy is there.
And, okay, it's just going to back away.
Okay, cheeky
they
little
know,
trade.
Like, Lahen's doesn't have flash, doesn't have ignite, has nothing.
It's still fine.
Carrier has
Good
Spellbook
damage.
on
Doesn't
Braum.
also have Hex Flash, which is a big shame.
Spellbook.
Gideon. Wonder if he wants to really try and look for an aggressive play towards the spot side. There is vision.
Ooh, gonna catch him.
Oh, it's the
Tio able to
classic,
offer a
isn't
little
it?
bit
He's
of
gonna
damage
swap the
back here,
TP and TP top and dive him. Like, I can see
Heal
it coming.
being invested by T1 will help even
T1, I
things
need
out
you to
when it
win
comes
this game. I need you to win this series. Stop
Carrier
fucking
does
with
a
me.
spellbook, so we'll be able
Wait,
to
owner just right-clicked
use
enemy
his
top
spells
camps, and it's working.
a ton, and not really be too worried, as we do see the Skarner again. The prior remains decently high. We haven't had a lot of Skarner games that really blew our mind, as King, and he was ready for that dash in.
Oh,
But,
this
there
top
is a
gank is gonna
Skarner,
be
that invaded
absolutely
his top
beautiful.
side. I don't think they know, and he is very low.
He is extremely low.
Is he paying attention?
Yeah, got to make
Is
sure
he in
that
the
he gets
shop?
out of here. He could just be flash slammed.
He
Does
was
get
not.
interrupted. Gideon now booking it towards the top side. And,
He's out, though. Is he out?
Owner is just going to try and go for this
Owner?
one again, as he does boop him away. The flash has to be invested, as now Doran could be in trouble. He's battling with both the turret and the Jace.
Oh
as he
my
picks up the aggro, and there's the last
Oh my god! Oh my god! Kingen just fucking rolled them both. Oh my god, Kingen just outplayed both of them.
Oh my, I have not seen an outplay like that.
See, this is why draft doesn't matter sometimes.
How, as Skarner, are we not walking up and just flash E-ing?
That is crazy,
you can't go
Kingen.
for the long wind up and E.
The reason he's E-ing is because he's scared Jace's base is gonna finish.
There's just no way, because look, the thing here is, I thought Owner was just gonna go in.
Booyah.
Yeah, and you heard the response. He was just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That was what he said.
Actually, he played it so good, Kingen.
Great flash. Yeah, he's like...
He played it so good.
That was...
Yeah, Kingen was actually just like, don't...
He didn't. It's very tempting there in hammer form to just Q the Gwen and proc face rush, but he Qs the minion and flashes out.
Oh my god, there's no shot.
Oh my god, Lens is ganking top level 2.
Well,
they're bullying him!
Doran's not having a great time. The hook catches him as well. Of course it does.
This game is crazy.
He's going to grab a piece of the pie here. And Nongshim, they've already got feats of warfare.
Nongshim level 1 was insane.
You know the
Then
crazy
T1 just counter in top.
This isn't even really
And now
fault.
Nongshim's 4-man top at minute 4. And Doran 0-3.
Yeah, no, well, Lahens is at fault for killing.
One of three of them has got to be Doran's fault.
Well, so I think the first one is, right? Because you can just immediately peace out. And I think the second one, he should have just backed off the moment that Owner got hammered away instead of fully committing to the play. But I also am just kind of unsure how they didn't coordinate better towards that top side. Like Owner going in with the wave was
I still think T1 will win the game, you know, but it's just funny that it happened 3 times.
Way, but then you just can't go for that
Carrier
play.
failed his flash to block the hooker.
Lands taking a lot of damage, and there is the last hit. So I'm not sure what his
I still think the draft
was.
gap's too big.
That too is Lahens. Has his flash.
But it is funny.
Now.
Yeah. So, you know, sometimes it's a bait, like in game 1. Sometimes he's just into it.
That was the
second
That was the second one, yeah.
We had a bit of that one there.
Game is not... T1, despite all of this, still has a gold lead. Although I do think that the Lahens moment did help a lot with that, because if you look at the gold lead, it's mostly in bot lane.
Yeah. And it wasn't that big before. It was like 7s and 6s. Not so much anymore. So they've got a game plan, don't they?
Atlas. Gideon on Poppy. We've seen this man do... Oh
dear.
No.
Well, Doran may die again.
Alright.
Yeah, there's the interruption
Nice
on the
Poppy
dash.
W.
Gets thrown into the sky, booped back by the big hammer, and Doran will get taken down. Kingen collects himself the kill.
Oh, Doran. It's a horror.
And they need to really
start
thinking about giving Doran a kill onto Lahens just so they can start resetting the money, because, I mean...
This looks so brutal.
We're going to start wasting time soon. May as well pick up a cannon. All right. Owner coming on in, though. 3 versus 2 here on this top side. Jiu is walking very slowly. Blocks
they can stun him.
Bite, and they're unable to get it. The hook does come back as Jiu's burning. Owner in a bit of trouble, but finds
What
it.
is happening? Owner's laughing. Owner is laughing.
Is this Nongshim?
What is this
Everything's
T1?
just a fadeaway jump shot. They're getting buckets when the defense looks okay.
What is going on with T1? It's 2 weeks before playoffs, man.
Really either, but
well, then why are you going for it? Okay, I don't want to get distracted. We have been
Owner,
so
you've had a glorious 8 weeks or something of god-tier regular season. I will not let this one game ruin your last 8 weeks of smurfing, but what the fuck are you doing? What the hell are you doing? That is disgusting.
But also, T1 looks so tilted.
Oh, yeah. And I don't blame them. I'm tilted. Watching these plays, how is that Q supposed to even work? Surely one of them should have died in that last fight. Jeepers.
I don't think they're tilted. They're just inting.
Hey, they've got one left.
So T1 does have a composition that eventually will always get value. But I kind of felt good about their game state when they got the early kill. And then here, Lahens just doesn't get tagged by the final auto. No one has flash, no one can actually get on top of him.
It's like, that's why Lahens went to Challenger with Jiu.
Oh, you're saying this?
Because then G blocked the auto, so like it wasn't sharing pixels. Made sure that he wasn't stunned up. As now Owner is going to come on over. Gideon is not afraid of anything. He's just heroically charging in over and over again. And you mentioned before, I mean, it's a 1.5k gold lead. It's not really anything, but still.
It's the
going to go a little bit wide. Yeah, it's the vibes. And it's the fact that
like, they're setting up for another bot dive. I can smell it. Why aren't they doing grubs here, Nongshim?
So
it's perfect with grubs angle, no? They're hovering into door and dive again.
Not to mention
absolute rat behavior. Get back up to the top side. Get back up to get the fucking grubs, man.
This season.
It fucking 0-4.
Feeling himself after that one. It also bodes terribly for DK, who's going to be facing off against them in our last match in 2 days' time. That's the most meaningful thing about this, is the fact that Nongshim could be solidifying Legend Group here, as the door does have to be put up, and Gideon, he's making his way over.
Oh my god, it's a beautiful double knock-up. It's beautiful. Wait, Nongshim are insanely smurfing.
Nongshim just styling, man. I don't think you can stop them now.
Insanity.
I don't think there's a way. We are just witnessing Nongshim currently up 2k gold and getting closer and closer to straight up 2-0ing 2. This is the one scenario that would guaranteed lock them in.
Wait, I just realized DK is suffering. T1! Bro, lock in!
Them in a great position.
DK is suffering.
But everything is just going poorly for T1 right now. And against Hanwha, I think there was a lot more cope angles. They're just straight up getting
Look at this. Root on the Kuma, flash auto by Lehens, double knock. Damn.
Which, as we have talked about often, I feel like is still going criminally under the radar as far as power picks go. And
not to mention Gideon just being so good at this champion.
This is the champion that I think made us go Gideon might be a top 3 jungler. I do think that he's fallen off a decent amount since. In this game, though, I at the top of the day, I was like,
am I crazy, chat? Listen,
right? I think that a
call me
part of it is
call me Susan, right?
After that
I still think T1's gonna win the game. I'm not even kidding.
We gotta take a bit of a break.
Even you have ever tried to defend his Skarner, though.
No, and T1 picking it as well, I think doesn't bode that well.
No.
Now T1,
like, I just don't see these champs losing. I just don't see it.
Remind everyone that there is a Victor, a Gwen, and a Skarner in this game, so the team fights are good.
Yeah, I do think that if they could pause this game, get a few nights sleep, maybe like go and like see a
like
movie or something like that.
Like a little retreat.
Little retreat, you know.
You know, Sinners is out of heard it's supposed to be great.
Yeah, there we go. That would be perfect.
Some team
time
building.
Yeah, and a hot spring perhaps.
Yeah, maybe a hike. You know, like an early morning hike.
That's iconic.
For like at least 3 days, and then came back, sat down on the chairs, and unpaused this game. I think there's hope. In the state that they're in now, I don't think there's hope.
Well, I don't believe in Costa Curses, so
it's not about curses. It's just the reality of the power of mental, and I just think things are a little bit rough right now. As Calyx playing this one pretty effectively, of course. Faker not in any real danger, although he doesn't have flash. Still, maybe Gumyushi can be the hope here for T1, but they're going to have to go for a full mental reload.
One Drake at 11, 4 minutes on the next Drake.
This is going to be
3 grubs to T1.
Possibly going to face check here as he doesn't get the buffer. Chains of Corruption comes down, gets a nice double knock-up. He's actually investing a fair bit here as he does try and get the stun up.
Flash trade, 1 kill.
Just not able to follow up.
No Herald for 3 minutes still. Chat, you're so ill, it's crazy.
That's a Lehens.
You are so ill.
We all know that. Yeah, no, they do. We're joking. But it is definitely a big win for T1.
Oh, you guys cracked me the fuck up.
Which is nice.
God, I don't know what my life would be like without this chat. It's so fucking...
But the real bounties are on the top side.
My life would be so boring without this chat. It's crazy. I have to wake up and read this every day and get this much brain rot. Like, it's just perfect.
We have seen in the past Faker's Victor go for really defensive builds. Now, you do have a lot of AP damage on the top side of the map with Doran as well. But with this game state, I feel like...
we hex flash it. Finds the stun here as well. The door will go up, so some time could be bought here. As a double knock-up from Gideon is gorgeous.
Oh, he's out. Or Rise ult, maybe?
Carrier. he won't be okay. As there's a Realm Warp coming in, and he's going to have to walk the wrong direction.
Ow, the locket!
We'll be able to block him off. He's taking them on
Any,
around.
well, Kingen is Kingen hello. He's going for Guma.
Kingen just looking to challenge Guma.
What the fuck? That Jace damage was crazy. Do you see that damage?
Doran, I don't think is going to be diving.
Those auto attacks, I felt them.
Keria is going to make it out. So Guma dies.
Kingen.
I guess.
Holy.
That can't happen. Lucian.
Oh my
is
god,
one
every
of those
piece of
AD
gold
carries
lead that
where you
Nongshim
have
get
so
is like
much mobility, you
DK
have so much
slipping in the
innate
standings.
safety.
Come on, man. Please, T1. We beat
Calix.
HLE for you. We set you up for second. This is how you repay us? You put us in sixth.
And there it is, Doran picking up a kill here for T1. And Ono going to come on over and look to try and steal away the crab. Does not manage to get the smite, but it was a cute little effort. Isn't going to get punished for it or anything like that. Play goes down in the mid lane. And T1 keeping it within touching distance here. 1.2 thousand gold. Gumiushi just got back, guys. Okay, Gideon is going in, misses the Q straight up, but that is going to be a lot of damage going down there as Carrier looks to
There's 2 free kills down here, Owner. Surely you won't fuck this one up.
Had the passive on him, and
And Doran, is he going to drop the 5th?
Who was very far up.
Okay.
Gideon's just dead.
Well, Owner's back in the game. Surely we've untilted now, Owner. Like,
lane eventually.
I told you, chat, this game is so won for T1 with their champs. Like,
summary of what just happened. What? I'm
yeah.
okay.
all of this happened in the early. It went from 1-7 to 5-9.
There was too much happening.
Look at the
there.
gold lead.
At some point here,
It's
I think they were
200
sitting
gold,
on a 2K gold
and it's
lead.
grubs for
Gold's now
break.
even.
Yeah. We need to calm
Really
down.
fine game,
So-
I think. Still, even all this goes
But I
wrong.
like good things. Owner tirelessly waiting to, or working to make things happen on the map. Faker, he's absorbing pressure. He's setting up for his teammates. I don't like that he's going for another vegan Victor build, but we'll let it go.
Vegan
Guma,
Victor build. What
my
the
guy.
fuck?
Back-to-back performances that aren't.
I love it how
really
Carrier has
inspiring. The amount
ghosted.
of damage that Kingen is doing, though, absolutely disgusting.
No, this is the kind of games I
not
love.
very fair
Right, this
at
is
all.
why I
Like
wake
the,
up in the morning to watch
Kane as well, but
LCK,
then
bro.
like
This is the
this,
kind of shit
like-
I like.
That is
Just what is going on?
Guys, you know he was there. We saw him earlier.
Yeah.
And then here Doran gets his flash forced as Lahens and Giu have the combo. And I think he, yeah, really nice sidestep there from Doran. Because if that kill goes over, the gold lead does remain in place for Nongshim. That's not going to be the case. Those bot side kills definitely a big
A
deal.
back massage for Jiwoo.
Okay, Jiu able to at least boost
Yes,
out of there with his
Anna.
Ghost Blade. Still good.
rough.
She's softening him up just a little bit here.
So,
As Doran
I
gets the
guess
experience for the cannon, ladies and
Things are
gentlemen.
now kind of fine for T1.
Yeah.
Well, in terms of game state, I still don't think
It
the
must
team...
have been the retreat, or maybe it was the hot springs or the sauna or something
Oh, they
like
just
that.
did it's the classic, you know, snip my
They
fingers
did,
and the
yeah,
time
they did
pauses.
a bit of time dilation type
Ooh,
stuff.
that's powerful.
That must have been what it was. Or maybe they're professional gamers that don't let the game state get to them.
Don't
and they
tilt
have
quite as
just
easily as either of us.
titanium mental, you know?
Is there a
Or
top
maybe
5 here?
enough people were tilted on their behalf for them not to be, as Doran
Oh,
is gonna
Doran
get slammed to
drops
wall.
the
He's
5th.
dead, guys. This is a Gwen that
I'm
is
ready
not
for the
immune.
5th.
The inner
Boom.
turret is likely to fall down as well. As
Bot tier 2
Calyx,
is dead.
Let's see whether he can survive on the other side of the map. This is called a cross-map play, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen. As Calyx does deal with the wave, and now he's just looking to run.
I think he just wants the wave.
He will probably be able to get most of it, as it does take a little bit of time. One last little auto.
And the 3-stack plant.
Faker's able to lock that one
And
down.
Carrier drove it into tier 2.
But Kingen did get this inner turret on the bottom side of the map, and as you can see represented in the gold numbers on the top of the screen, that is kind of worth here for Nongshim.
So Doran doesn't get to play the video game, as we have already established. That trend kind of continues.
Yes.
Nongshim is going to get the second Drake. If the poke comp gets Hextech Soul, I think
Thankfully,
that...
it's not Hextech Soul.
Faker's Victor,
Oh, yeah,
bro.
never mind, 'cause we're
He is
I
scaling.
thought we were
We
already on the
should have been
second
there.
dragon, but
Oh,
there's
it's
been too much
infernal.
going on. Oh,
But
my
just
statement
your
stands.
statement stands, absolutely.
Nice, thank you, Rift. Imagine if it was like Kemtech and I'm like, man, I gotta change my whole point.
Yeah, the whole point would have been erased. Thankfully, you had a few good options, because Ocean would have also been pretty awful.
Void Staff would be a big purchase.
Yeah, Ocean,
Oh,
I think
Doran,
it's kinda
2.3k
doable. It's not
down.
great, but you do
Do we
have
trust
eventually, I think,
Kingen's
with this comp,
Jace?
you reach critical mass on both Gwen and
Do
Victor.
we trust King and Jace to carry the game alone?
But if T1 would have gotten it, would have been horrible. But Infernal is going to be amazing for Nongshim. I still like their position more because the objective control,
I'm on the fence.
right?
I'm
They've
scared of a
been able
Gwen
to actually
TP
get
behind
these two dragons
Jace.
very
I
early
see
on,
it.
which gives them a lot of flexibility in how they play their
I'm
games.
scared of like the revenge
T1's
arc of
team
Doran
fight, though,
TPing
is
behind
quite
King
strong.
Pop.
Faker also going for what looks to be a very early Void Staff. Happy about that. If he was going to go like Zhonya second, I would have been a bit unhappy. I think that T1 need all the damage they can get because it's got to be coming down to the team fights here.
Well, I've seen this one before as Jiu going to cleanse. Not going to get slowed down, but Lehens may pay for it as he does get the aftershock. He's actually pretty tanky.
Ooh, I killed the Doran.
Go in, but the answering door is going to be there. Steadfast presence, though, is Gideon. And he's going to be able to keep himself alive. The 1-3-1 working out pretty well here for Nongshim, though. As you can see, Calyx and Kingen in these side lanes, making things happen. Nongshim will be able to defend outside of losing their Nautilus. Kingen giving a lot of respect to Faker here as he moves towards that top side, knowing that there were quite a few people roaming up there.
We have experience leads.
The Doran comeback begins now.
Particularly mid lane.
Uh-oh, Calyx.
Calyx may have just killed himself by stopping that back.
He needs to ult out somehow.
And
like,
I don't think against
can you do it though? Got the plant.
That is not happening. Does get a very large boost of speed with that.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, he has to ult and then flash.
That was sick. That was sick, Calyx.
Clean, clean, clean.
Did have to invest the flash for it, but damn, he looked cool.
Kingen.
One
Wait,
more
Guma lost his flash.
for a
Was?
flash. I say
it
no, he
wasn't
didn't. He
even
just dashed.
one more wave.
Fuck, I
it
thought he
was
flashed.
throwing a Q into nothing.
I know. I was about to say it was stylish.
Faker, he's gonna one-shot you.
Yeah,
Oh, that was close.
Damage,
no flash.
Doran, here it comes. The revenge arc for Doran. TP behind top. I told you.
Gideon gonna be moving up here.
Doran!
The crab. He will be able to, as Kingen is just
big.
I think they had no vision, like because otherwise Gideon could have just roamed up.
Oh, that was sexy.
And protected.
Revenge
Kingen.
of the Doran.
So I'm pretty sure they were just caught off guard by that. Nongshim, couple of mistakes slipping in here, and T1 clearly not going down without a fight.
Absolutely not.
That's a big shutdown. Going over to Doran. That actually is still 1.8k gold behind. So it's not great, but it's definitely better. And Gwen does, I think, outscale in this match. If you can get to like relative parity, which this really helps with, the spike for Kingen right now is still kind of disgusting. Faker not having his flash is also a big deal. There's a lot of champions on Nongshim where their snap engage is so insane, right? Where you can just get on top of them very easily and blow your opponents up in seconds. And T1 do have a triple carry composition, but two of their carries are still pretty substantially behind.
I mean, there's a lot of other teams that would never have allowed T1 this kind of way back in, though. So
it's still Nongshim.
Yeah, Nongshim needs to tidy it up a little bit.
Faker's just been listening to Payphone this whole game. Everything's on fire around him, just fucking chilling.
Like
farming minions,
they were running circles around T1.
just fucking building items, fucking cameras not on any of the deaths.
And when Nongshim go for their overly aggressive plays,
you know, doing Krugs right now. Just finished the Krugs, gonna go to bot wave. La 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 la.
You know, it might not be pretty.
Not my lane, not my problem.
League of Legends looks like.
I mean, it is pretty. Like, there was some pretty plays. There's been some big ones in this game. It's okay. Gumayushi gonna get the ult out of Jiu. That looked like that was a fear ultimate.
I want to remind you of the owner Skarner top situation and also the bot lane dive where
Doran has two items.
Up and kills two people for seemingly no reason.
Yeah, no, those things did happen. However, there were the positives. And one of the positives...
I'm surprised he didn't go Rod of Ages, though.
Right?
Faker stopped going Roa.
And then Calyx getting the really cool like phase rush into Realm Warp flash plays just so that he could make sure that he got off that one Q that hit nothing. Oh, gorgeous.
I think what this game is arguing, really when you boil it down, is function over form. Or sorry, form over function, right? Like, because Gen G, for example, it's pure function. They are a methodical team.
It's like going to the ballet.
It's ballet versus German engineered cars.
Exactly.
You know, Gen G, they will never let you down. They're stable. They're well engineered. But this is art. Atlas.
Honestly, that actually makes Lehens make sense. Lehens is performance art.
It is!
He just is, as a person. That's all right. Siege is now
this is art.
Possibly in trouble, but he has
Get
a
him,
billion hit points, so that might help him out. And T1 slowly but surely getting poked down. Remember, Nongshim's poke is kind of ridiculous. And then they can turn on a dime as well. Remember,
T1, if you needed any extra piece of motivation, just think about Damwon. For Damwon, huh? Thoughts?
Even Lahens?
We'll do it for Damwon.
I like the angle from Doran. Oh, he's found.
Yeah, King going to spot him out there, and I don't think he can walk into a full health Jace.
The wave control for Nongshim is so crazy. With Lethality, Varus, and Rise?
Yeah, they can just walk back for 2 seconds to the wave, and it is just gone. Doran doing that on the bottom side of the map, though, as we can see here, so they might be able to get control at least at some point.
Maybe Calyx, yeah, item finished.
Oh god, that is the 2-item spike coming in for the
Where's
Rise.
my Dorat
I'm pretty
flank?
sure his Seraph should be done as well. It's a Rise. There it is. Big spike now.
I don't know if T1 can really fight this, but that's Soul Point for Infernal Soul, Atlas!
At 23 minutes!
Gotta fight it. Gotta get in there.
They're going to try and get over here. Doran gets into the pit. Owner, can you
Popping
actually drive your way through and steal it? He cannot. And they just get rid of the Gwen. The culling does nothing, and Nongshim say thanks for the Soul Point. And it feels to me like Nongshim have locked back in again. It was a bit of happy gaming for a while there, but that was a great play.
What's really big is that T1's disengage is incredible, but their engage kind of sucks. It's just Skarner.
Yeah.
And there are...
what about engage Braum?
Yes, exactly. And there are 3 phase rushes, a Gate, a
Ooh,
Realm
King
Warp,
cancelled his
and
base.
a Poppy on the enemy team.
Yeah.
So, really, the more... and we already kind of highlighted this. If the game state was a bit more even, and T1 were in a position where they were not pretty substantially behind as...
Oh dear. Well, Doran is going to try to make this one work. He flashes, but yeah. No, Kingen is just going to hit him with...
Doran, I'm trying to defend you, but that flash, I cannot.
Doran.
No can do.
Yo,
Maybe
Xiao's
maybe
the
an Otacon angle. Yeah, King has flash. Or I think they should look towards that.
Unless they can go for some
Dorat.
sort of fight, which, you know, 4 versus 5.
They are Nongshim, so that's probably what they'll do.
Yep, teleport comes in from King and get him into the area. And it looks like it's either fight or Otacon or both. Or all of the above. There it is.
Oh, Owner.
Engage, the slam into the wall.
Owner,
Great
does he get it off?
knock-up, though, coming through from this Braum. But Carrier, he can only do so much. Gumayushi
What about
the
DK?
side, and
What about
Gideon,
DK? Faker
just
still listening to
unkillable. I just
payphone.
don't know
I'm not
whether we're
grouping,
ever getting
not
through this
grouping.
Calyx was
Not
somewhere
helping,
at that
you're
time.
fucking
He's
dying.
not even building tanky. He went Sundered Sky first.
Whoa, it's a flash from King, and he's looking for another one. The flash comes out. The
I take it back. I
cleanse,
trust King and
but you
Jace.
cannot
I take it back.
death, and it's
I
a
trust King and
solo
Jace.
kill for
I trust
Kingen.
it.
6-2
He just
and
solo
5
killed
on
bot
this
and mid.
Jace. He's 3k ahead. They pick up an Otacon, and
I take it back.
Nongshim, it's once again looking like they have this one in the bag.
No. Yeah, that's...
He definitely speaks Korean and he is completely 1v9.
Game Atlas, that's what that was.
He is completely 1v9.
Huh.
Can't wait to see the discourse after this one.
Holy, King and Jace is
I mean,
pounding.
Noodles, man. You know what,
No,
actually...
by discourse, I'm referring to the post that
King
the
thinks
Nongshim
it's a World
social media
Finals.
manager is going to draw.
True, that's a good one.
Just you wait. This is, again, the only outcome with which Nongshim, this Kingen, man, because for me, Kingen was on the verge.
He could have his
of
auto
dropping
attack as
below
well,
Doran. I feel
but
like his last couple of weeks really weren't
he's
that
so
impressive.
fucking
Doran have made a
clean, what?
comeback.
Last
right-
week, Kingen.
Right now, my oh my, and this T1
He's so fucking
biting
clean.
off way more than they can chew. You're guaranteed
W
down a
Kingen.
member,
And you're just not allowed. You're not allowed to make that play.
You have to wait until
Oh, the revenge of the rats.
4 people and die. You of course didn't have very much choice there, as Calyx is splitting
Oh
on the
my
other
god,
side.
they
Ju's
just
in the
4-man
mid lane.
Kingen.
This might look like a good pick for T1. But
Guma is
Nongshim are very
insta dead
happy
in a
with
Rice
this.
combo.
That's inner turret, outer turret
They're waiting for
Hammerman. Hextech Hammerman.
Hextech Hammerman.
It felt good to say.
Yeah,
I just wanted to say it again.
I like Hammerman. He is.
Faker has joined the battle.
He is sometimes Gunman. This is Bookman, and Bookman is in a bit of trouble. Keeper's verdict, and it's in. The verdict is no more Gamushis.
Both mids have been
can't
just
believe
farming.
I just now realized how many judge jokes we could have been making all this time with Poppy. I feel like I haven't been doing that at all. That's such a wealth of jokes that I've never tapped into.
Also, isn't Judge the name of that guy from that show who was played by Boromir? Not Boromir, the Rohan guy. Oh man, I don't have enough information in my brain to make this one work.
I can't help you with this one, Atlas.
Yeah,
Kingen.
it's my bad. I'll try and figure it out. Kingen was dead. Yeah.
It's a nice collapse. It's a death brush. often means that there isn't really a lot going on the rest of the map, which there wasn't. And
Eomer.
It's going to have to find a Hail Mary. I do want to draw your attention.
Judge Dredd. That's
oh,
what
yeah,
I was talking
Carl
about.
Urban.
Carl, yeah.
Yeah.
And I meant Eomer. Why did I say Boromir? What is wrong with me? Sorry, Sean Bean.
That's why I was so confused.
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't make any sense.
It's okay.
Sometimes our brains fade.
I again want to highlight, looking at the gold, T1 is behind. It's not unfightable, but it's more so what we have witnessed. The gameplay thus far from Nongshim
The King and
has been
Jace,
way
man,
better.
it is
And unless
so
T1
fucking
get
OP.
one of those classic T1 team fights where suddenly they're able to turn the game around. Not unlike one of my other favorite legal games, Phoenix Wright, right? Turnabout T1.
I knew you were going to do it. I knew you were going to do it.
Oh my god, Owner, these flash ults are disgusting. What are we doing, Owner? What are we doing?
Owner takes a fair bit of damage, but Nongshim
Faker wants to flash that wall.
It was, I'd almost say it was kind of lucky, as now Doran is looking for even more. No, don't do it. You don't need to, as he flashes forward and just blast cones his way out.
Watch out for Jace. Watch out for Jace poke.
That's absolutely true.
Kingen!
As Kingen is an absolute monster, but not if these shock blasts do not land.
This
Nongshim will
game's a
not be able
banger.
to challenge for that Infernal Dragon. T1 just bought themselves 5 minutes.
Is that Edgeworth's music I hear? Are we in a Phoenix Wright game?
Nongshim's best way to win is just not fight.
Turnabout T1?
And just poke forever.
Because,
Owner, what are we...
Kingen is gonna come
Okay,
on over
Owner,
and
you're
it's-
fucking...
Yeah.
Chewy?
Gumshoes is like...
Nice try. 50-50.
Brother, that is not evidence.
But Faker's
When
now...
Gumshoe's correcting you know you really messed
Exactly.
up. Faker was on a flank.
How do
do they have the resources
you're-
to really do anything here?
Oh.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
I think they should get out. It's
Guys.
fine. You got the dragon. Well, we are not going out.
Gwen is not immune if he...
Oh, what the
However,
damage!
She can just kill him. And so down goes Kingen. Calyx is now golden, but in an awkward spot.
Oh, here comes
In
Gideon!
comes Gideon. Might be able to get the punishment here onto Doran, but he's done a
Oh,
decent
Kuma.
job. But look
Oh no, the wrong way! God. Oh, he's alive! He's alive! He's not alive! He's alive! He's dead! He's dead! Carrier's alive!
Faker comes over though. He is now a person with damage. And Gio is
Oh
going
my
to try
God,
and win the
just
game alone
roam.
here on the top side of the map. It's gotten silly. It's gotten silly very quickly, but I think
super
that's
silly.
probably good for T1, as it was looking very over.
Yeah, that calling, another red herring. Clearly, false evidence trying to throw us off the case of what is actually happening
Oh
in this
no,
game.
stop it. Please, stop lawyering.
I don't know what's going on! What is happening?
This is like a
So,
scrim game.
Kingen is able to get the sums of Guma. Faker was on the flank, and T1's like, you know what? We've hit our spikes. We're strong. They take a
But the
three-man
Jace Q
shockwave
did
to the
no
face.
damage
We're not
here.
strong, we're not strong, quick.
Okay, pretend to be fake. Pretend to be fake. Kingen goes in and just gets popped. Doran is actually doing crazy work in these team fights, by the way.
Yeah,
Like,
Doran
his
is doing
damage-
crazy work. He's
Faker
recovered a
also,
lot.
The Zonya's timing.
Sonya's timing was great. Just a little bit off the timing. Yeah, otherwise, his
Holy
chaos
shit,
someone
DK
kept
is watching
going,
this
but
game
wasn't
praying.
quite there. That calling, I don't want to talk about it. Wouldn't have mattered.
I did miss that one.
Yeah, well, so did he. Let's be real. Wouldn't have mattered for the play. I think Gideon always kills him there because he is just simply too low. Stock taking.
Imagine
Drake
being a
went to
DK
T1.
and your
The game
fucking
technically
lifeline
continues, and
for an
gold
extra
is
best
a
of 5 or
little
whatever, or
bit more
side selection is
stabilized.
T1.
Now, what does it mean?
In a
Don't know.
domestic best of 3.
But,
Come on, man!
I just want to get a third game of this.
drive me
I'm
crazy.
Entertained.
Yeah,
to
that's
my core.
It's like
That
when you
is
say
why we
people say
need
if
T1
you have to
to
put
win,
someone
so
has to
that
take a
we can
penalty
just
for your
get
life on the
more
line, who would you
of
choose?
Whatever this is. Nongshim are doing that thing where
Owner, what are we doing?
Out on
Owner,
the
what are we
map,
doing?
And they've left their front door open. So they're going to go in and take their
We're going
stuff.
in.
Well, we'll see whether they can. As
We're-
does
we're-
get the
we're-
interruption.
we're
That's
going in
beautiful
from
on
5
Doran.
different
And
angles.
now Gideon just says goodbye to Doran. And Carrier there to defend,
Varus
but now
ults.
Owner and Faker are in so much trouble.
Oh, he
The
Owner landed
two-man
his ult.
Impale is gorgeous with the Arcane Storm layered on top, but Kingen is going to survive. The face
And he
rush
died.
again, saving Nongshim. And they just lose the jungler. It is only Owner that goes down. That felt like it could have been way worse for T1, but it's still bad.
Faker can
So
TP back.
Baron is up, but there are two
Maybe they can
teleports
fight this.
available. Both Doran and Faker can join at a moment's notice.
Ow,
Guma.
ow, ow, ow. Oh, this
That's
Baron
a
is
lot
so
of
gone.
damage.
This
Finally,
Baron is so
Varus on
definitely
4 items.
gone.
He hurts, but there is Doran now.
Guys, the
making
Baron's
his
gone.
way in.
I promise
This
you
is
it's gone.
Faker. They gotta
Just
get
farm.
towards the I
Just-
don't think they can. I think
let's
they have
just
to give
take
the
a
Baron
breath.
look
I mean,
at.
last time
Let's
they
take a
tried to
breath
do
here.
this, they all died. And the Baron still went, and the Otacon went at the same time. Like, I understand why they're just going to back away, and now Baron is picked up for Nongshim. There is a minute on the clock until the Infernal
Why
Soul
does someone
as
come in the
well.
chat
And
first
you can
time
see that
message and say,
Baron
damn, you are a little
feeling
dude?
pretty good.
How is that even a comment at this point in the game? Shut up. Victor ult, not up.
All right,
Oh, if Victor ult goes up, we can cancel it.
Flash. I didn't know it was possible.
He's
You
pretty
can
good
just
at
grab a
dancing
bar.
in and out of the Realm Warp, isn't
So the attempted flank here from Doran and Faker doesn't quite work. Nongshim actually respond really well. We have Lahens and Gideon ensuring that there isn't really an easy target to go for. Obviously, Guma
The
can't
T1's
walk
draft
up
that's
by-
holding him
by
in this game.
himself.
I feel like the
Imagine if
one
Doran
thing
is
that
here, by
fucks
the
this
way.
T1 draft is that
Imagine if
Jace.
Doran doesn't get knocked away. If he had Flash's deal, didn't have it, FYI, but if he did, you have the damage, the reset comes through. That might be the turn as Calyx.
Calyx is going to flash.
Calyx,
That's a
where-
pretty
why
high
are
value
you
one, but
flashing?
Still, he's going to get impaled. Does have the Seraphs, does go golden.
I guess he can buy time.
T1, it's only a matter of time. They just wait it out. They take down the Rise, but that's a two-man investment.
20 seconds on Drake, and
into
my
just
solo
one on the
laner
side
just
of
died
Nongshim,
with no
20
TP.
seconds
Is
until
he
the
reported?
Infernal,
Oh,
as
what?
you
You
indicate
dodged
to
that?
me there, Chronicler. Could
That's
be
the
a
big
big
one.
deal as Ona and
But
Doran
Calyx-
can both get back
Oh,
over
Jiwoo.
here. Now
Hola.
He's in so much trouble, actually. Never mind.
He's
Not able to
fast.
close in on him.
But they're a member down. So Nongshim want to play it slow. T1 want to try and
Area,
push. They don't
area,
have vision
no,
control.
no,
So T1
yes,
are going to try and
yes,
probably get Prior
yes,
through mid, then rotate
yes,
into the river. Calyx
yes.
doesn't have TP as well. So they have about 40 seconds before Rise shows up. Their
Watch
engage
out
is
for the hook,
great, but they
Kuma.
got to force right now.
Dorat's in there.
Got to try and find something here as the hail of arrows comes down.
No
Nongshim
W on
looking to get
Dorat.
themselves out of here as Gideon will be able to
Oh, that
secure.
Jace scares me.
Two-one
Oh, he
scuttle.
missed.
Yeah, the crab. That's a good one. Chains of Corruption comes in here as if they kill Ona. That's a
Nice
big
block
deal.
from
The door
Keria.
goes up.
Oh no, he got
It's
sent
Vertus
out.
gonna make it an
Keegan's
even
gonna die though.
fight
Big.
as they
Yes,
take
come on,
down the
T1,
Jason
please,
so
for
much of the
DK.
damage of the
For
fight.
DK.
Oh
For
my God, Gideon, you are so incredible. Doran goes golden. The culling is gonna get cancelled. Another knock up as Guma is in. He's just dead. It's a triple here for Jiu, and they are just gonna go in, walk in the front door, and win the game. And Calyx is like, guys, what happened?
Oh, look at the faces on Gio.
Guys,
and
what happened?
Lens. Gio living there.
Is Gideon just
Actually
fucking
ends up
smurfing or
winning
what?
it. That fight was
Oh my
on
good
the verge
heavens.
of being lost. Doesn't even
They
blow
just
his
smurfed the
cleanse,
fight,
by the way.
GG.
One auto away from getting hit by that Braum passive, from actually going down. And with this win, Nongshim secure the Legend group with a 2-0.
We have Noodles in the top half of the LCK.
We must
And
beat
they're going to be
KT.
facing off against T1 a whole
Wait,
lot more.
what
Over
happens to the
coming
standings now?
weeks.
And Gio takes...
Dude, this is the power of
T1,
Challenger.
you were supposed to win that
Challengers,
series.
baby.
They both went.
You were supposed to win
Challenger
that
together,
series.
Gio and Lahens, and they lost.
Oh my God, DK
Goodwin,
is so
the greatest
fucking
player
cooked.
of all time, 4 two-time world champions, multi-time LCK champions, or a bunch of noodle boys with the powers of friendship. Oh, you're going to Challengers to practice, Gio? Don't worry.
DK's not out.
I'll come with you.
Yeah, you don't even need to win. And it's still going to be enough.
DK's not
Now,
out.
This guy, an absolute monster.
Hey,
Kingen was so good today.
I gotta say, I think everyone on Nongshim played well. I think
mean,
everyone at their
it's
moments.
Lahens. Lahens needs POM. If it's not Lahens...
DK's
I'm
locked
so
road to
mad.
MSI,
You
but
know why I went for it.
Lahens.
No.
Oh, God.
let me see the Lehen
Alex?
celebration quickly.
I know Kingen, like, the first play on the Jace was sick.
No, but like
Lahens just won the series, man. He was so good. Both games, oh, God, he was just everywhere. Look at this man.
Oh, look
Lahen's
at-
aura.
oh.
Lehen's aura.
I'm not going to shoot you today. Today, I'm happy.
Let me check something really important
It's nice
here.
guy Lahens. He's going for a different
DK's
arc
playing
this
against
week.
DNF.
Really, outside
KT's
of,
playing against
of
DRX,
Alex, who I
DK's
think
playing
was
against
serviceable,
Nongshim.
but wasn't really a highlight. I think you can make an argument for any player.
Yeah.
If
No,
it ends
So
up being
DK
Varus,
needs to beat DNF.
I
What's
mean,
the
he
match
didn't
score
die
diff?
once
Oh my
versus
God.
Varus in the last game.
His Varus was actually
match
crazy.
score is the
Like,
same,
his,
no?
his spacing in the fights. I can't wait to see who it'll be. What an exciting turn of events here. Atlas.
Wait, if
Nongshim,
DK
You
the
say
only
exciting.
2-0 DNF.
Exciting is a poignant word.
They're
Given the fact
22 and
that one of
20.
DK
So they'll
or
have a better
KT
match score, right?
Are now not going to make
Right?
it into the Legend group.
Right?
Yeah.
And then they're even.
Yeah. I think,
Then,
obviously
KT
we need to
versus
check rules
DRX.
and whatnot
If KT
when it
win
comes to the
2-0,
tiebreakers when it comes to,
then they go to
what ends up
23
happening.
and 21.
But assuming that KT beat DRX tomorrow, as they
So
are
that
expected
then
to, which
means
is a dangerous thing to say,
the
but let's be
DK
real.
need to beat
And DK
Nongshim
beat both DNF, which makes sense, and this superpowered Nongshim, which
2-1.
I think after this is a
They don't
lot
need to- they don't need to
harder
2-0.
of a task.
They can win 2-1.
I'm going to be wondering.
Can we? I hope we do an ultra slow-mo on this play.
Right?
Because he makes sure.
Because then
that
they will be 24 and 21.
I'm looking back again. You know what, Doran? I don't.
If they lose 2-0.
You should have just left.
Okay.
Owner made the misplay initially, but Doran really.
So here's the TLDR. DK have 2 series left. They can only lose 1 game in those 2 series. They need to win both series, but they can only lose 1 game. So they need a 2-0 DNF and minimum 2-1 DNF. If they lose a single series, they're 6th. But does being 5th change much? Let's be honest. What do you get? Side selection for the first series? Is that it? Wait, hold on a second.
Even the maybe it's Chiu. Like I don't know.
Oh, you get the Rise group. You get the Legend group for next split, right? Oh my god, it's actually fucking massive.
The barrel wall.
It's for next split. But regardless, this is locked. No, it's KT versus GK, isn't it? Round 1. It's locked, right?
This fight felt to me like.
It's locked.
We're on the ropes. Remember, this is without Calyx.
Oh my god, that's gonna be cinema. Oh my god. And so Nongshim's here, T1's here. So DK win, MSI. Boom. Alright, chat, I would stream the DK DNF series, but I can't because I need to go to the venue to set up the stream, set up the cameras, and do the rehearsals and all the fire safety checks. I need to go in the next 20 minutes. So you guys are going to have to watch the DK series without me. I know, this weekend's fried with things to do. Otherwise, I would watch them.
Looks like it's another day at the office.
So I'll see you guys tomorrow. The next time you see me will be tomorrow. Tomorrow we have LR versus Rudy. Me versus Yamato. At 11 AM. So if you want to know when it would start tomorrow, it would have started 30 minutes ago. Whatever time zone you're in. Yeah. Big weekend this weekend. If we win versus Rudy, we lock EU Masters, and then we go to the finals. If we win the finals, we get the trophy. If we lose tomorrow, we're out completely. So tomorrow is a big day. We're going to do lots of draft stuff, lots of setups, lots of rehearsals, lots of stuff like that. Alright, chat, I will see you tomorrow for the big game. Next time you see me, we'll be in the venue. We'll be in the venue. It'll be in the arena. So I'll see you there, chat. Enjoy the rest of your days, nights, meetings, mornings, wherever you are in the world. Take care, sleep well. And I want you guys to make sure to add me on Twitter when DK drop a 2-0 on DNF, because that'll make me happy. That'll cheer me up. So I'll see you guys later. See you tomorrow, yeah, for the big game. Big day. Big stuff, big pace.
She say